What?
It didn't play the music for us.
Yeah, we didn't hear the music that time.
It played for me and I heard it.
No,
Weird.
Welcome everyone to our latest in our quarantine casts, a podcast series that never seemed to end. I am Brandon T. McClure. With me, as always, is Ben Magnet.
Hey, I don't know. The computer's acting kind of sus. We should probably vote it off into the ship and eject it.
I get this reference.
Thank you.
Art Twitty.
Hi.
And Ryan Iliopoulos.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
I thought because you were doing this, you were going to be like, Tommy isn't here, Mrs. Torrance.
No, sorry. Sorry, no Shining references today.
This week, we're talking about... We never do that. How was your week, guys?
What do we never talk about?
I was about to recap what's coming to the episode.
We're going to talk about some news and talk about a thing.
This week you can look forward to do. But first, this.
I don't know why I started to do that.
It's okay.
I'll tell you what, Brandon. My week was the same as it was pretty much the last 7 months. It's perfectly fine. It is totally adequate.
I mean, this week took a turn, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Take a turn.
This is a spicy nugget I am willing to eat.
I mean, the president's got the coronavirus.
And pretty much
and
his entire staff.
Many of the GOP.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened to nicer people.
Sure.
Hey, it is what it is. You know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. There's more people I don't know if this is true, but I saw it tweeted a lot, so I retweeted it. There's more people infected in the White House than there are in New Zealand right now. All of New Zealand. And I'm like, yeah, I believe it. Yeah,
guys, I really just want to touch on how funny I think it is that the things they released, like of him at Walter Reed, are material where it's a video where tons of people who know more about video have already pointed out that, like, okay, so they're clearly editing out coughs in the midst of this to make it look like one take. That's obvious.
He never looked more normal.
And then they have these two photos of him in different locations of the hospital that they left the security data on so that people were able to see when they were timestamped, and they were 10 minutes apart, knowing they were framed photos. I'm like, this is so comically simple.
They were able to data mine those pictures and be like, these were taken 10 minutes apart from each other. So
yeah, and he's signing blank pieces of paper. It's ridiculous. Anyway,
that's a kernel of good news in the week.
Who wants to talk about their week?
Let me go first because I didn't really do a whole lot. This week, a tragedy happened. I won't go into it, but everyone here knows what it is.
Yes.
So I didn't get to do a whole lot, but I did watch a couple of things. Into the Spider-Verse. It's a great movie.
I've heard of it.
It's an incredible movie. I love that movie. I think the movie's amazing. Dragon Ball Evolution. Great movie.
Same quality.
Incredible.
Exact same quality.
I think everyone knows that it's amazing.
If anything, they are. If you put those next to each other, you're like, wow, yeah, same thing.
Yep, totally. Same with Aeon Flux. Anyway.
No, that one has no.
Dragon Ball Evolution is such a baffling movie to me as I'm watching it. I haven't seen it since theaters, and it's like I figured it out. It's complete nonsense, by the way. If you know anything about Dragon Ball, and if you don't know anything about Dragon Ball, the movie is nonsense. It feels like if I were to tell someone the story of the Piccolo saga, and then that person told another person, and then that person told another person, and then that person dictated the script to a person.
Yeah, that's welcome to most bad adaptations of bad things. Like you have the idea we're gonna adapt Dragon Ball, so you pay some random person who's made other shitty things in Hollywood, because that's normally how it goes. There's a circle of the same people. Yeah. Then that gets put onto another producer who doesn't give a shit, who gives it to another writer who doesn't give a shit, and then it finally gets made, but nobody involved actually cares.
But see, the thing.
Shout outs to James Marsters for constantly sitting in the makeup chair and telling them to make him more green.
Yeah.
Titus. So the film, see, watching the film, you're just kind of sitting there going like, I would love to know what was said in that room, because it's like, look, you take a bad adaptation. Everyone knows The Last Airbender is a bad adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. But you know what? It's recognizable as Avatar: The Last Airbender. You see the same stuff. in it that you could see if you just saw pictures side by side, you would recognize both as Avatar: The Last Airbender. There is very little in Dragon Ball that could even be considered a reference to the show.
Yeah. There is the orange gi that Goku ultimately ends up wearing at the end.
Yes.
There is one use, I think, of a capsule.
Capsule Corp.
Yes.
Bulma, yeah.
The end.
The Dragon Balls look like Dragon Balls.
And the Dragon Balls look like Dragon Balls. Thank you.
Kamehameha.
But everything else,
Shenron doesn't look like Shenron.
the whole thing with like the key, and then the whole thing with like the school, putting Goku in a school, in a high school.
Okay,
Bro,
look, I'll never forget it. I haven't seen this movie in years.
Chi-Chi.
But Chi-Chi sitting in there, and then all of a sudden, like, the strawberry flowers and all that anime fantasy about her, and I'm like, this movie's all right.
Yeah.
And the movie,
Goku sliding on his head on top of the car. Yeah.
That's all I imagine in my brain.
Geeko.
Geeko.
Jamie Chung is in it too, and like I wanted to watch because Jamie Chung was just in an episode of Lovecraft Country.
It has a lot of good talent in it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just so wild to me that it is the movie that it is. There is nothing. It's in the realm of bad adaptation of just like this isn't the same thing. You have not made the same thing.
They made it to make it. That's unfortunate. Like that's how a lot of these movies are. Like either it's a rights thing or it's just like, hey, we have this, and we're not doing anything with it. Shit something out. It's
because they'd had the rights for a while.
Yeah,
and this was at a time when like no one was making anime adaptations. Nobody was even really talking about doing it at the time.
Yeah. This was still even before Airbender.
Yep,
a couple years before. Yep. That's awful.
The whole like. The Kamehameha is the most powerful of the wind key powers.
The airbending techniques or whatever. Or no, some Shadow Crane move is like the most powerful of the wind bending techniques. It's like
no, what? Shadow Crane is the basic wind of the airbending techniques. I just watched the movie.
I'll still watch that movie over the last Airbender film anytime. Honestly. I can at least stomach Dragon Ball Evolution in a funny way. I appreciate Dragon Ball Evolution for telling me in the first 30 seconds that it was going to be bad. I appreciate that in the first 30 seconds there are narration where they say that Goku's Ozaru form is a slave to Piccolo. And I'm like, cool, this is going to be horrendously wrong. I'm glad I knew 30 seconds in, we're in for a terrible time.
I even tweeted, I was like, arguably Dragon Ball is the most accessible of the four shows. So, like, with some minor tweaks, you could have made that saga work on the big screen. Even then,
especially if you're making not Dragon Ball Z, if you're making Dragon Ball, that is a low budget, like just fun adventure movie.
The whole thing is
that is nothing. You don't need to.
The whole thing is
like that.
You don't start at fighting Piccolo. You start at fighting Nazis. You start at fighting the Red Ribbon Army.
Yeah. General Tai.
One boy
General
with a whole
Pipeline.
bunch of crazy powers because he's got this monkey tail and nobody understands where he comes from, takes on a fascist army.
And then the sequel gets...
That's it!
The sequel...
That's a great movie!
Yeah. The sequel gets double the budget and you're like, oh, now he can shoot stuff from his hands.
Now we can do Piccolo!
What's going on? Yeah. You slowly build that world. It's possible. Believe me.
And then when you finally get into the Z of the Cell Saga, you'd be like, hey, remember when Goku fought the Red Ribbon Army?
Oh my God.
Androids!
Bro, I'm just like, it's not... Like now that the MCU exists, I know that there can be 10-year character growth arcs. So like I know a dope Dragon Ball Z movie franchise exists. It's not going to be for maybe until we're old men. No joke. Like that's a franchise where I don't.
I would believe Japan would do it and do it really cool.
No, sure, but I'm talking about like a $200 million American made.
I don't believe that Japan would do it and do it really cool. I know that like most of their anime adaptations live action are not good. They're not good.
Attack on Titan.
They're usually cheap.
It's bad.
You have to understand that like Japanese studios are also pretty cheap with the way that they'll handle things quality level. This goes down to the anime studios as well, but it definitely happens with anime live action adaptations. Death Note is a fluke. So I don't have faith in that. What I would honestly rather see at this point is in like a decade. I want to see an honest attempt at Dragon Ball, but I honestly want you to make the Saiyans black.
Hell yeah.
Because in America and a lot of other parts of the world, but specifically in America, Dragon Ball has become a black people icon because of the very clear story of a monkey race which it has its racial slurs, but being oppressed by a very white colonizer leader. The correlations are there. There's a reason why a whole lot of black celebrities and everything who will attribute a lot of praise to Dragon Ball at this point.
Yeah.
So I would much rather see, honestly, some black people get to play Vegeta, Goku, etc.
They're aliens. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's a baffling film. Speaking of baffling film, I bought this guy.
You pulled it from my dreams.
I saw that.
I'm gonna be honest. For those of you listening and watching, Sparks and I recently bonded over a new memory that we didn't know we shared.
For those listening, this movie is called Prehysteria.
Yes. For those listening, this movie is called Prehysteria. Exactly. I for years thought I had made up a movie where a little boy gets baby stop motion dinosaurs as pets. I for years thought that was a dream. That I would go to Blockbuster, because I remember I would go to Blockbuster all the time and just check out that movie.
I as recently as a few months ago was thinking about it, being like, I made that up, right? I made that up. That movie doesn't exist.
And now it is on Blu-ray and DVD.
Yeah. Up until a trailer we're going to talk about later, I completely forgot that there was a movie where little kids turn into rats, and I'm like, I thought that was just a fake dream I had once. That's a real ass movie. Okay,
Apparently, Mag has seen all three Prehysteria films. I've only seen the first two.
I didn't know there were sequels.
And Ryan, funny enough, because when I saw that trailer, I actually watched the original movie this week for the first time in my entire life.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Either it's a amazing coincidence or there are witches at work.
I remember Prehysteria 2 upset me because the kid forgets the baby dinosaurs and the new person who moves in just adopts them.
Hell yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Kick them out?
Because you can't keep child actors around for that long back then.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember those baby dinosaurs being super cute. And I'm so happy that I finally had that movie. I'm sure it is awful, but at least I know it's real.
Yeah.
And then the final thing I did, I wasn't going to bring it up, but I started playing today Star Wars Squadron.
Man, hey, I wish I could play that game, and I'll tell you why I can't for PC reasons, but I want to hear you talk about it.
It's definitely, obviously, the VR stuff. A lot of the stuff when you're not in the cockpit is a lot of like, look here, click, and you get the background stuff. That's for the VR. I understand that. The gameplay of flying, I'm having a blast. I think it is so much fun.
Oh yeah. I did get to play a little bit. I played the prologue. There's two missions you play as the Empire and the Rebels, and then there's like the big introduction into the actual missions. But I agree. I think any worry I had about that being like too boring or too like too simple is gone, because they throw a lot of stuff at you. And how much have you played of it?
I've played. I played the prologue, and I think I just passed the beginning of the story.
Okay, cool. Okay, but you're introduced to like you have like shields and you have lasers and you have your thrusters and stuff, and like you have to balance like all your different meters, and like the flying is so fast. I really want to play this in VR, man. I hear it's insane.
Yeah. One of the things I remember about, we were talking about like Battlefront's flight mechanics. We were worried the squadrons would be similar.
Yeah.
But the flight mechanics are so smooth. If you run into something, you just kind of get tossed around. You don't just immediately explode.
Yeah. So it's a nice balance between being a simulation, like hardcore simulation game, and being a fun arcade Battlefront game. So like you don't have to worry about running into things, but like you do have to worry about being good at the game. Like,
and you have to strategize how you, because there's just like, hey, you got this missile lock, throttle down and put all the energy into your engines, and then like skid. I'm like, you got to be like, oh shit, I'm losing a shield. Got to pour out a shield. Oh, I got to repair. It's really fun and really intuitive, and I'm having a blast.
Yeah,
good. I want to play.
Yeah, it's very kinetic. It's very frantic. Like it's not boring. Like you have to be on your toes, and you have like you don't have to be the best pilot, but like you have to do some sick ass maneuvers sometimes, and it makes you feel real cool. Yeah. Like you spin around a thing, and I'm like, that was so cool.
This is the Star Wars game. Like I feel like like when you're playing the Arkham games, you feel like Batman. I feel like I'm flying a TIE fighter.
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to get. Have they announced if this is getting a free PS5 update? You guys know?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
So they said like everything releasing in like second half of this year that's on PS4 automatically, Xbox 2, I believe, automatically has to have that. As far as they're concerned, it has to have the ability to automatically upgrade to PS5.
Because I don't think I'm going to get a PS5 anytime soon, but I would consider getting a VR, and that will be with the PS5 too. Because I would love to play this thing in VR, man. It's
if I'm having such a good time, and I'm just using a controller, I can only imagine what the VR feels like.
Yeah. I've watched a stream of a guy like on YouTube, and like it's like the audible joy he has. He's like, holy shit! I'm just like, I want to feel that. It seems cool.
Yeah, the adrenaline kind of gets to you. You do like a cool maneuver, and you're like, woohoo!
Now this is pod racing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it.
Good.
And it's only $40, everybody. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Next.
I'll bounce. Let me bounce.
Do you want to talk about your PC problems?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So
we all have them. 1 in 5.
Yes. Just like I was gonna say like a dentist recommendation, but that's like toothpaste. That's completely different. So if you have like a PS5, you just buy your games from the PS Store, right? It's a 1-to-1 market. It's very easy. When you have a PC, it's not that simple. You either you choose where you buy your games. You have a Steam, you have the Epic Game Store. The problem with the PC market is every developer has their own streaming service. So EA has Origin, Ubisoft has Uplay. Epic Games has one, Steam has one, Xbox has one, right? So if you want to play Star Wars Squadrons anywhere that's not EA, you still have to play it through the EA Origin launcher. So I bought it on the Epic Game Store. I still have to download, install Origin, which is their streaming service to do it, right? The problem was when you did it through Epic Games, it didn't recognize it on the Origin store. So people who bought the game couldn't play the game, and that sucked. Right, that's a big bummer. So it was like a day before I could play the game, and then I played the opening stuff like I talked about with Brandon. And then a patch came out, and after this patch came out, once I try to load into a level, it takes me to the loading screen, but it never leaves the loading screen. And I read 2 comic books, so it was about 25 minutes of me waiting to play just the first level of the game, and it never loaded. So I'll let you guys know how that game is more next week when that game gets patched for the PC. And that's one reason why I love console games, because I don't have that problem. Unfortunately, I wanted to try to buck the trend and play on a better looking console. Also, there's a Fortnite thing in there. If you buy it on the Epic Game Store, you get a X-Wing.
That's already over.
That's already over.
You had to do it in pre-order.
Oh, but I got it still. I use it.
Yeah, because you got it the night before it came out.
Hell yeah. So I got that. I don't want to like rebuy the game for the PS4 or anything. So I'm just going to hope that gets fixed soon. But that game is a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun. I read some comic books. Let me find the picture of all the comics I read. I will start with The Department of Truth. That is a new #1 by Mr. James Tynion IV. And guys, I know I already asked you. You didn't pick it up. Did you pick it up, Brandon? Man, you guys. Oh, hold on. I'm thirsty. This is probably my favorite #1 indie comic I've read this year. It is so wild, and it is so fun, and the art is insane. It's like you guys have read New Mutants. It's like Rod Reese, kind of like that, really like ethereal painter style. Mm-hmm. But it's all about conspiracies and the conspiracies that we are living with today, and the racism that we deal with today. But how it also deals with the supernatural, and how if people believe in conspiracies enough, they become reality. And this is about an organization who has to keep those fake realities on the underground. If it's like control both the real world conspiracies of today, like being a flat earther and stuff like that. And what if the flat earth, so enough people believed in it that a part of the world actually became part of the flat earth? And it's just like crazy shit like that. It is so high concept, and it is so well written, and it is very wordy in the type of way that I love when a book does this. And I got to be honest, James Tynion, like, I've read a lot of that dude's indie stuff, and I've loved all of his indie stuff, and I've only really liked his DC stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like he's always caged when he's doing something that's with the big two. Whereas with any creator doing their own stuff, they have free will. And I'm just like, man, I'm just so glad you can do both, because like his Batman stuff's pretty good, but like it's not blowing the chain off anything. That's not a phrase. But I think that is a stellar first issue, and of all the comics I've recommended the last couple months, definitely check this one out, because this is one that I really wanted to see survive, because it's challenging in all the ways that that we like, and just tackling like white supremacy at its front, having a gay protagonist at the forefront. It's just like, it's such an awesome book, and I just love it so much. And it seems like it's really responding well with a lot of people online too, so that's really great.
Good.
Yeah. Shang-Chi #1 came out by Gene Yang. Did you guys pick this up?
I did, but I haven't read it.
Cool. Did you pick it up? Gene Yang. Brandon, it's Gene Yang. You want to write Superman? He can't until you buy this book. It's all right. It's like, Ben, I love you. Thank you. I love you.
Actually, I went to the comic book store today, and I saw this was the last one on the shelf that wasn't the variant cover. So I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure Ryan's not going to yell at me, but I'm pretty sure he's going to.
But I was saying, Gene Yang, like, we were just talking about, like, man, I wish that guy was writing more books. Here it is.
After this, I couldn't get any more.
No, I feel it. That book came out.
I picked that up. I picked Shang-Chi up because Gene Yang wrote it.
Yes.
I love this dude's stuff in Superman. I want to see what he does with Shang-Chi. And it's
pretty okay.
Shang-Chi comic too, so there we go.
Shang-Chi was the first comic I ever read in my entire life because my grandpa gave it to me. This is a pretty decent first issue. I'm not gonna lie, it's totally fine. It's a lot of world building. It's very it's setting up a lot of new ideas, but I think the wording of it, it's a lot of repeating. It's a lot of like brother hammer and sister hammer, and a lot of these phrases they keep repeating lots of times, and it just kind of gets repetitive after a while of reading it so many times. I know what the character looks like. You don't need to keep saying their name, even though it's kind of like a cultural thing. I just think it's a little fumbly. But I think the idea is really cool, and Shang-Chi himself is a really fun, awesome, cool character. He's really charming, like super charming. So I'm glad at least the character himself is written pretty well. We'll see how the villain stuff turns out. But I think it's cool to have a Shang-Chi book out. That movie's coming out soon. Of course, there's a comic coming out. It's nice they didn't just get a white guy to write it. So I appreciate that.
It's also nice that they're putting it out this well ahead of the film so that it can actually maybe build more of an audience than it would.
Absolutely.
Just based off of the comics, because usually they drop that like much closer to the release.
Yeah.
I'm glad they put this out this early.
Yes, I agree. Also, I will stick with that, at least the first arc, like, unless it just like spirals down, but I doubt it. I think it can only go from here. It just had to be a really like heavy first issue to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Immortal Hulk had a one shot written by Jeff Lemire and Mike Del Mundo. I didn't know Mike Del Mundo was doing the art. That dude is insanely talented. I just want this to be the next team. This is the team you got, guys. This is it. Just like this was such a fun, just like it's a one-shot anthology. Like, hey, this is a Swamp Thing. It feels like Swamp Thing. Just a little Hulk story in this world. Like it doesn't like break the mold or anything, but it's just like a nice little, here's a little book. Very cute. While also being very horrific. There were some other books.
I enjoyed that one as well.
Good. I'm glad. I want the Immortal Hulk train to run forever, and I know the gas is gonna run out eventually. But I'm just like, here's some more coal. I'll just buy everything, please. I bought Multiverse's End, which is a death metal book, because that was very highly rated by people who aren't enjoying the death metal like I have been. That's another James Tynion book, and that was one where they're just like, hey, just here, let loose. Here's Captain Carrot. That's his name, Captain Carrot. And just like a cavalcade of just DC characters, and it's just a super fun multiversal team up book with a lot of really, really interesting character exchanges that just like only can exist in this.
I'm glad you brought that up. I've read that also, and I really enjoyed it. Especially because of what it does for Owlman. And a lot of that story is just Owlman kind of jealous that he's like, I'm the dark reflection of Batman, not that thing from the dark multiverse.
Yeah. I loved it. Yeah.
And then
Owlman's dope, and he's just so jealous and cynical about it. As the character.
Sparks, have you read it?
No, not yet.
Okay. And like there's a moment where he's looking at one of the dark multiverse Batman, and he's like, what makes you so sure? Blah, 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 blah. And Owlman's like, Owlman just goes, because I'm a good idea and you're a terrible idea.
Listen, I'm not saying, man, it's there. It's on the sand. It's there.
I got a lot of like Crisis on Infinite Earth, Crisis on Two Earth movie vibes from this Owlman. I really enjoyed how this Owlman was written.
Yeah, I forgot how cool that Owlman is. How much like this, how just like just a bad dude in like the good and bad ways. I found a picture of all my comics. There was a giant-sized X-Men tribute comic that in 1975 when that book came out that introduced all those new characters like Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, all those characters.
Krakoa.
But this,
Krakoa.
Krakoa, yes, and also Krakoa. And it's just like almost every page is a different artist, and it's just a recreation of that original book. And it's just stunning and it's gorgeous, and it's just a nice little piece to have of memory. It's really cool. And then just this little book called X of Swords, and that's the last thing I read.
X Factor 4, right?
X Factor 4. Have you guys read that yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So no docking X Factor, but I didn't think big things were going to happen in almost every single issue. Like I didn't expect the things to happen in this.
That the event was just going to take over the books.
Yes,
but it is. Yeah.
This is truly part 2 of the event, and so much shit happens.
I'm really glad it's that, actually, because
Me
it
too.
makes it like less like this is just, oh, this book is a tie-in. It's like, no.
Yes.
This is the event continued.
Yes, I listen to all the interviews that I can whenever they come out. But like since this event started, all of the X of Swords, all the X-Men writers and artists are doing tons of interviews, and I've listened to so many of them, and the collaboration between them, like it's not that I ever believed it, but they talk about it so much, how like we are always talking to each other. You know, we have a group chat, we're always talking. You know, we do weekly video chats and stuff, and I'm like, I believe it. Like this feels like an event where every single person wrote all the issues. Like it feels so real.
Rarely get so many titles that feel like they are cohesively functioning together at once.
And this, like the end of X of Swords creation leads directly into this, and it's just exactly what happens. I'm like, this really is just like it's a story.
And what an issue!
Yeah, I
loved everything with Apocalypse.
Yeah, and so much shit happens, and it's like I don't want to like get into it because I know we're going to talk about it at the end, like when the event's over. But like so much
the story that happens with Rockslide.
Yeah, and so much important stuff happens for Krakoa and the resurrection stuff. Where I'm like,
oh my god. Rockslide, holy shit.
The multiversal.
Yes.
It introduces so much stuff. And I'm like, guys, the event just started, we can't do this. Oh my god.
It completely changes the resurrection protocols.
Yes.
We also saw Moira.
We did. We saw Moira for the first time since Hotbox.
What, guys? I haven't read it yet.
It's literally a panel. Calm down, Ben. It's one panel where we see a place called Moira's No Place.
Oh, yeah. It's just,
and Moira is there.
Sorry, yeah.
You just see her for a panel.
No, yeah, it's just a reference, yeah. That is a stellar second issue. And I'm on board, baby. And next week we get like
spoiler
3.
would be to tell you what that location looked like.
Next week we get 3 issues. I'm ready. I'm down to clown.
Yeah, 3 issues next week. Yeah.
I played some video games, but it's just the same stuff I've been playing. Like no real updates. I don't know if I did anything with you. I forget.
The Sparks, do you want to go next?
Sure. Why not? I read comics when I wasn't doing schoolwork.
I lied. I'm sorry. I have one more comic that I read because I was at the vet for 3 hours. I was on rough. Twitter. Yeah, anything for my baby. Excuse me. So I was on Twitter and somebody asked a question. There's a writer, Mark Gruenwald, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He wrote Captain America for 140 issues in the 80s. And somebody asked, hey guys, what's your opinion on this run of Captain America? And pretty much every big comic writer I follow saying, this is not only one of the best Captain America runs, it's just one of the best runs in comics of all time. So I was like, yeah, I've really been trying to read more older comics because like I read so many modern comics, it's crazy. And I'm like, there's like 100 years of comics I could read. Not 100, but there's a lot of comics I can read. So I started to read this book in Captain America like 307, I think when I started. And immediately I'm like, this book rules. It's so fun. Captain America is the best. He's the best hero. There's a character named Armadillo. He's a giant armadillo man. He gets turned into an armadillo because his wife has an uncurable disease, and an evil scientist is going to help him cure the disease. It's Mr. Freeze, but he's an armadillo. So he goes and he's like, listen, there's a dead Avenger. Goliath died back in the 80s. He died in Secret Wars 2. I need you to go get Goliath's body because his body has vapors and like ethereal shit. I want to study it. So Armadillo has to go steal his body, but Captain America's there, and Armadillo's like, I'm going to fight you, Captain America. And he's like, hold up. Can we talk about this? And Armadillo's like, what? So he's like, why are you here? They get into a tussle, but Captain America's like, stop. Why are you here? He's like, I need to steal this body because my wife's dying. And he's like, bro, I'm really sorry. What can I do to help? Armadillo's like, this is confusing. So they talk it out. He's like, cool, listen, I'm going to go talk to the scientists. Come with me. They get it all sorted out. And they become friends. And he's like, hey, Armadillo, listen, just call the Avengers. Tell them you're going to go pick up that body. Tell them you have my permission to do it. No big deal. I'm going to sort out this stuff with the supervillain. Everything's kosher. And I'm like, oh, Steve, this is the best. I want this Steve forever. Not that the modern Steve hasn't been this, but like a lot of the modern Steve has been very like super spying, like tactical and like a heavy shit. Like, oh, I'm evil and stuff. Like this is just super fun Captain America stuff. And I'm really enjoying it. The villains are great. Hey guys, the 80s rule. Good stuff. That's it. Sorry, Sparks.
No, you're good. Okay, so I read some comics when I wasn't doing school. I read Iron Man by Christopher Cantwell. That's a solid issue 1.
Yes, it is.
Really loved it.
I'm glad you liked it.
I recommend picking up that Iron Man title, guys. It's really good. Most Marvel stuff is good. I also read the latest issue of Doctor Doom because I had the time.
Bears.
Cantwell is killing it. He traced it. There was a bear tracing
Sure was.
in that comic, but
Yeah.
but they're killing it on the story.
Listen, Salvador Roca is it's not his first time getting caught.
Let's see. Where do I want to go from here? You and I played some Fortnite.
We did play some Fortnite.
That happened.
Wolverine is officially in the game, so we'll
Yes.
probably be playing some more of that soon.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, there's good stuff. Fortnite's fun. Other comic I'll talk about besides X of Swords, which I did read. I read 3 Jokers issue 2.
Mhm.
Brandon and I already discussed this a bit because I know he did as well.
Yeah.
And I will say the Jason Todd stuff is great.
Okay.
Super good. I really like the story they're telling about Jason Todd kind of coming to deal with a lot of the trauma he's carried tied to everything about the Joker killing him and everything that happened afterward.
Okay.
And how the Bat family has treated him upon his return and how he felt like the path he's had to walk was an inevitability from the moment that he even became Batman's ward. I really like all of that exploration. It is a bummer to know that there is only one more issue of this, and it is a bummer to know that that will not get the fleshed out story it deserves, and that it is overshadowed by this I cannot see ending satisfyingly story about Jokers. But the Jason Todd core of it, so much of this issue was about him that I'm like, why is this even a 3 Jokers book? Why is it just the only thing I can see is that the premise of kickstarting Jason to say these things is what had to happen at the end of issue 1. But otherwise, I don't even need this story is a Jason Todd story. That's what I want.
He's the 3rd Joker.
And it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to be clear, I think that I agree with the idea that I don't think this book can end satisfyingly.
In another issue, I can't.
Yeah, in another issue. I am interested in the story of the 3 Jokers. It's just we know so little about what that story is that one more issue, there's no way this ends satisfying.
Right. Yes, I am also interested in the story of 3 Jokers, except that's not the story that it's telling. It's telling a story about Jason Todd, which I also think is great. But I'm I want that to be a 12-issue miniseries. Give me a 12-issue miniseries about Jason Todd dealing with all this trauma and talking to Barbara about it and connecting with her about it. Yes, that's exactly what I want. I don't know.
No, because then they're just gonna get into a relationship, and I don't want that.
Oh boy.
I didn't buy this comic.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I bought it earlier today, so.
The art's still great, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But I truly think what's being written for Jason Todd is great.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that it was going to even if these kernels were going to lead into some other series written by somebody else where they get to take it and run with it, I'd be happy to know that was true.
Yeah.
But we don't even have that on the table, so I'm like, this is really good character stuff that's probably never going to go anywhere, and I hate it.
And not that it really matters that there's another event that's so totally tied on the Joker right now, but Batman 100 is about to come out, and that's a seminal.
Oh, you mean
book.
the Joker War?
Joker War, yeah. And Batman 100 is about to come out, and that's a seminal book that's dealing with the Joker. So it's just you have these 2 completely separate books,
and the Joker War wasn't enough, so the Joker War had to get its own extra thing that it's releasing.
Yeah, which now has ruined Poison Ivy.
Blow out my butt.
Yeah, poor Poison Ivy in the comics. That's Harley Quinn season 3 next year, guys. That's where your good content's coming from.
Did I tell you guys I read Detective Comics 1027?
No,
ever. It's good. I liked it. I liked all the stories in that one.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. I also bought it. I will read it when I have time to read.
But I feel like you were saying something to a point.
I forgot where I was going.
Because you were saying like, yeah, there's another Joker event, and just
it's
like
it's hard for me to care when this is supposed to be a big like this is the truth of the Jokers when the truth of the Jokers is happening also in another book.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, cool, okay. I know like none of it like continuity doesn't matter, but like it's just I hate timing. Like the pandemic ruined everything, really. I
mean, it does come down to a core thing where I think both for Jason Todd and for the Jokers, but like where it hurts me is with Jason Todd. It does come down to a thing where like I don't understand the relevance of the Three Jokers event if it's something that nobody's going to ever take any of these pieces and run with it. I'm like, why does that story even matter? It's only 3 issues. It's not even a story on its own. So it needs to matter somewhere else. And if it never will, then what's the point?
Speaking of mattering / not mattering, a recent Tom King interview I just listened to on Word Balloon saying that Batcat the book is a direct sequel to the Mask of the Phantasm movie. So everything that happened in the movie is canon to his Batman continuity because Andrea is an old flame of his. So that's super dope.
That is cool.
Super dope.
Love it.
I started to watch the movie. I started to watch that movie recently, and I had it on DVD. I was like, "Man, this looks like shit," and I bought the Blu-ray.
There you go.
We watched Lovecraft Country. We did not get to talk about it because 1 week Ryan was sick, and the next week Brandon had stuff going on. So we will have Lovecraft Country in spades this coming week. You can check us out on Fake Nerds Watch talking about that.
Yeah.
Megan and I are still playing through Until Dawn. That's a great experience. We're having a good time with it.
How far are you?
We're at chapter 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
So,
because I was about to say, like, how much? What's the spooky level where are you at right now?
I think the spooky level is like middling.
Middling?
But Megan thinks we're at spooky. And I'm like, I think we're like at okie dokie spooky.
Yeah.
I watched 2 old movies related to my classes, and I'm going to talk about them. I watched the old movie Them. Are you guys familiar?
I've heard of it.
It's giant radioactive ants.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, yeah, I think I might have seen clips of it.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I watched it for class. And, it's very...
got an exclamation point.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's
black and white, right?
Yes, black and white. This is the 50s. We were watching it in comparison, essentially, with Godzilla King of the Monsters. And I do mean the American remake of Gojira from the 50s. We did not watch Gojira for classes. We watched Godzilla because we're specifically analyzing how Americans refuse to acknowledge the devastation of atomic radiation unless they are in control of the narrative.
Yeah.
So in Godzilla King of the Monsters, they're not acknowledging that you watch it. I haven't watched Godzilla King of the Monsters in a really long time. The last few times I've watched it, I've only watched Gojira. But we were watching Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I'm like, wow, I think this is actually really bad. And like I mean like really terribly bad. And I didn't think that the last time I watched it, but I'm like, they've cut up and butchered so much of that movie, and you can tell. And I'm just like now really thinking a lot about some of the racism that's attached to it, which they managed to sneak in somehow. And how much because I really wanted to, I only got to watch pieces of Gojira. I didn't get to watch the whole thing this time. I didn't have enough time this week. But I just thought about how Godzilla King of the Monsters, the remake, the American remake, makes you feel very separated from all the victims of Godzilla because you're only locked into the perspective of the white Raymond Burr protagonist that they shove in.
Steve Martin.
Yes, who plays Steve Martin. You are shut into his character. So you are not, I'm happy we have the original cut as well. You are locked into his perspective, so you're not allowed to actually connect with any of the characters as they're going through anything in the movie. It's honestly so hollow of emotion. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's also because it's told in the past tense. So it's Raymond Burr telling the story of Raymond Burr experiencing Godzilla.
Well, only part of it is told in the past tense. Most of the movie. Because once we get up to the oxygen destroyer stuff, that's told in the forward momentum.
Oh, you're right.
But yes, exactly. It's so hollow and empty of emotion, and Gojira is so much better. What I was talking about, Brandon, is how for class we watched this in conjunction with Them, which is the 50s film about radioactive ants.
Oh.
And how our American our American sensitivities about how we can talk about atomic radiation if we're the ones in control of the narrative, if we're the ones in control of the movie. He can say, yeah, it's our problem, but look how our military and our scientists dealt with it. Not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Is different from how we're allowed to talk about Godzilla because of all the things. They cut out all but one single reference to Godzilla potentially being caused by appearing because of atomic bomb testing.
Mhm.
And even then, when they acknowledge it in the Godzilla remake, they treat it like it's just one theory, but not the reason. It's pretty bad.
Isn't there a thing in the original Gojira cut? I haven't seen either in a long time, but isn't there a thing in Gojira that they said like atomic radiation created this thing, and in the Raymond Burr one, it's atomic radiation woke up this thing?
No, both of them think that atomic radiation. So both of them think that they woke it up, but Japanese one says they woke it up and changed it.
Oh, okay. You were right.
Both of them think it is a prehistoric species that was surviving somewhere else. Yes, exact same thing with the 1985 Godzilla.
Raymond Burr was in the 1985 Godzilla American version.
I know. It's so bad. Yes, it is that, but in the whole thing is what happens is in Gojira, a whole scene that happens that's cut out of the American one is that the Japanese say, okay, well, we have to keep this information secret. We do not believe this was because of the atomic testing, and we're not going to acknowledge it. And then the wives and sisters and stuff of the victims who have already suffered from Godzilla are in the same room and saying, no, you have to tell the public about it. It's our fault. It's the atomic testing's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to acknowledge who it is. And they're like, no, we can't acknowledge that on a global stage because the US will get mad. That's literally the discussion. Anyway, so
I just want to watch Shin Godzilla again.
Yo, that movie's so good.
My top three Godzilla movies: Shin, Gojira, and GVK.
Final Wars.
Godzilla, Mothra, and Ghidorah.
Yeah, I love big Russians fighting. So Shin Godzilla, I just remembered it has like an American like liaison, just like Neon Genesis Evangelion has a American liaison. I'm like, oh my god, Hideki Anno, you're everything. I love it.
But unlike the other ones, she'll switch between English and Japanese flawlessly.
Yes.
Anyway, Brandon and I played Among Us. That did happen. That was fun.
Wait, real quickly. Remember in Godzilla Final Wars, like, when you decided to invade Earth, you forgot about two things. The second was Godzilla, and the first was me.
Yeah,
the guy's great.
That movie's fun. I have an Among Us update, which is fun because you guys play it, so you know that game came out over 2 years ago, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and the developers.
I watched the completionist video of Among Us because I've only been seeing the memes now. And I finally started playing the game today. I'm like, man. And then I'm watching the video. I was like, 2 years? This game's been out for over 2 years?
You can thank the pandemic because streamers honestly dictate what becomes really popular in multiplayer, especially if the game's good. That helps. But like some streamers got together and they're like, hey, this game's fun. Let's try it out. And then slowly just build it up. Now it's the most played game on Twitch. But Among Us 2 has been in development for over a year. And they scrapped development on the sequel because the game now is more popular now, this very second, than it was over 2 years ago. And they're just going to reshuffle all that content into the first game.
Yeah.
So there was going to be a second, but then they're like, oh my god, we just got like $1 million.
They also just seem to have finally beefed up their servers, so things are running a little better. So
Yeah.
hopefully it'll continue.
I just think that's it's a dope story.
They did say Among Us 2 is coming, but they straight up say it's like, yo, it's going to be a while. But this one, Among Us, the first one, is going to keep going until no one's playing it anymore.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
I also watched God of High School. That's an anime.
That's such a bummer. I haven't seen the last 4 episodes because
you gotta catch up, and then we'll talk.
That's so because in the beginning we were so hyped. It was so cool.
It's still pretty.
Wow, that sucks.
We'll talk about it. Ultimately, what it is, really simply, the anime has now displayed that it is uninterested in explaining how anything works.
Aw.
And so there was an episode where you were jumping between two different fights, and one is a very martial arts based fight, and in another, I'm not kidding you, a character pulls out a giant silver cross where little tiny teddy bears pop out of every little orifice on the cross and then shoot lasers out of their eyes and mouths. And there is no explanation of how these two things function or relate to each other in the same world. It's just you're supposed to somehow think that the stakes in this other fight are the same as the stakes in that fight. And it's like, but these are two totally different like tones and power sets, and we have no explanation for how that power set is even rationalized by people. So that's God of High School.
Lame.
Teddy bears coming out of a cross that shoot laser beams from their eyes and their mouths.
You heard me.
Dr. Evil couldn't make that.
The other thing, Ryan, you and I did do something together.
Don't lie.
We watched the South Park Pandemic special.
Oh, we did!
I did that too.
I haven't watched South Park in a long time. And I used to love South Park, and I just, I stopped watching it because it's one of those shows that keeps going on. That was a pretty good special.
Yeah, they lampooned everything going on really well.
Yeah.
It was
solid
funny,
special.
It was funny because Fang and I, we were watching it together, and as we were watching it, we're like, okay, so they got the president, they got the virus, they got the masks, they got the mask deniers, and they're like, oh, the fires, the fires. Very end, they got the fires down. They got the
don't forget the police brutality.
Yep,
That's very, very apparent. And teachers
like, are we protesting or are we rioting? Which one are we doing? And then
they did you guys see? I retweeted it. It's someone did a short film, about a 17-minute short film, parodying 1917, but it's 2020.
No.
So it's on my Twitter. I recommend it. It's really cool. It's just this guy did a single take short film in LA of just everything that's been going on in 2020 up until about like 2 months ago because he had to edit it. It's really cool.
I'll check that out.
Let's see. I also watched an episode of the Goes Wrong show. This is a 6-episode season. It came out near the end of last year. I'm hoping that they'll do more. It is the logic, like think Saturday Night Live, except like they're actually trying to air television plays. This is something that was much more common in Britain than here. And they're airing the plays as these teleplay events, and everything that could go wrong goes wrong. It's very staged in the way that things go wrong. Like it's very planned out. You can tell like this is a scripted show. It's not something where like the accidents can ever actually truly be accidents. It's all, but the hilarity of just the absurdity of how badly this show can be rendered. There's for an example of like a middle range thing that they do is there's one part in the episode I watched where the guy goes to open the kitchen door, and they have a whole kitchen set for another part of the scene, and the door is jammed and they just can't get it. So all of their next lines are related to the guy like offering the person tea, and so they can't get in. They all pretend to walk more steps just next to the door they can't get through, and then say their lines as if they're in the kitchen. And then he says, "Would you like some tea?" And then a stagehand bursts through the side of the door and drops the teapot out with tea just pouring into their hands. It's very entertaining.
I love it.
So I highly recommend it. Watch that on Amazon Prime. And lastly, Megan and I finished Killing Eve Season 2. This season was not as solid writing-wise as Season 1, specifically for the character played by Sandra Oh. However...
Is that Eve?
Yes. However, the character played by Jodie Comer...
Killing.
Which is Villanelle...
the same joke.
was fantastic. She is so good. This actress is incredible. Her character is so engaging. She is the kind of person where her character is written so well, where she enters into rooms with characters, and I find her entirely unpredictable. I truly do not know what she's going to do, and I am internally fascinated by her as a character.
The Joker.
She's really good. You will all have actually seen her briefly in The Rise of Skywalker, apparently. She cameoed as Rey's mother. I just found that out.
That not a 7-second performance.
Not a good representation of what she's capable of. I highly recommend this show, guys. She is so good. I cannot wait for her to get more recognition because she's so talented. And I eagerly await getting to watch Killing Eve Season 3 when it drops on Hulu. But for now, I have to sit in the season 2 cliffhanger. Fiona Shaw is also on that show, which I mentioned before. She's incredibly good on that show, playing this shady British Nick Fury, essentially, running an organization with plans upon plans and secrets upon secrets. It's very, very good.
Excellent.
And that's my week.
Ben?
So I had a week off from work.
Woo!
And I was actually able to get quite a bit done. Well, not really a whole lot. So let me try to think if I can remember. I should have wrote all this down. I don't know why I did it. So let's just stick with a huge thing. Video games. I've been playing a whole lot of video games this week. The big one that I've been constantly playing is, of course, Super Mario 64. I unfortunately have not beaten the game yet, but I am close. I'm over 85 stars in that game. And I'm gonna complete.
For those of you keeping track at home, he is now at 85 stars.
Up to down.
Yep. I'm getting down.
I hear 85. You got 85. I got 85.
We got 85. And the more I play it, because there have been many times me playing 64 where I'm like, this. Yeah, I could go. It reminds me a lot of when I was playing Super Mario Odyssey, which is like, no, I could do another moon, like because in Odyssey it's moons rather than stars. So it's like, no, I could grab one more moon. That's fine. Oh, I could grab it's only this o'clock at night. Yeah, I could go like an hour and a half more. Let's see how many I can get. I get that a lot in Super Mario 64, but there are times these controls just make me want to run up a wall. And it's so many times where I know I nailed that jump, but for some reason the camera just one direction and I can't see where I'm going. The next thing I know, I hear wah, and I fall and lose a life.
That happens. Yeah,
it does. It happens.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But the game is still fun. I'm still enjoying it, and I can't wait to get that 120. Every time I find a star, and there are times where I get into a new course and I see a star that's just right there, right in the open, and I get it, and next thing I know, that was supposed to be like the 5th or 6th star I was supposed to grab.
We will now take bets for when he will reach 120. Do I hear Tuesday?
I'm going back to work. It's probably going to be in like 2 weeks or something.
I put $200 on Wednesday.
You're gonna lose that money, Brandon.
You're gonna lose that money, dude.
I got a good feeling about Wednesday.
So besides Super Mario 64, I also started getting more into Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance. This is the remake of the original Metroid, which was on the NES back in 1986.
How many stars you got in that one?
You don't get stars in that game. You shoot aliens.
Oh?
Yeah. Oh is right. So this game is also spooky. And it's not as spooky, but it's pretty damn spooky. It's pretty damn scary. It's got alien vibes to it. But like alien as in like the movie franchise Aliens.
Yeah.
And I played some of Metroid Fusion back in the day, and I really miss playing Metroid Fusion, but playing Zero Mission, it's great. I'm having a blast. It's half of the Metroidvania where I love exploring. I love figuring things out. It's like how I get there, or when I find a random item thing to upgrade my suit, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And when I finally figured out how to get the power grip, I'm like, hey, I need that. And it's playing. I really kind of want to go back, and if I could, I would go back in time to my younger self. It's like, hey, get this game, and this game when they come out, because if you wait, they're gonna go up in price, and you're gonna hate yourself for waiting so goddamn long.
There are so many better things I could do with time travel than that.
Sports Almanac.
No. I know where that road leads, and I'm not doing it.
It leads you to be one of the richest people in town? That's true.
Yeah, they also look like Biff.
Yeah, I don't want to look like Biff.
No, thanks.
Who also looked like Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
Coincidence?
Oh, God.
No, because that was deliberate. Robert Zemeckis was like Donald Trump.
Hell yeah. Good job, Robbie.
So besides Zero Mission, I haven't been playing as much. I've been playing a little bit here and there because most of my my focus has been going to Super Mario. But also, like I mentioned today, I started playing Among Us. The game is great. I was playing it for a little bit with Fanny and with my roommates. One of my roommates earlier today. So that's pretty much most of my video games. Besides video games, I also watched Witches for the very first time. Because Fanny and I were scrolling along on Netflix, and she's like, hey, have you ever seen this movie? Like, I've never seen it before. And we sat down and watched it. That movie's actually pretty good. I had a good time with it. The prosthetics and makeup on that are freaky in a great way but it's a Jim Henson production. He helped with the puppets and the prosthetic makeup. It looks awesome, and good lord, does the Grand High Witch look terrifying.
Brandon, you looked perplexed when he said that. Did you not know it was a movie?
I did not. I wasn't sure what he was talking about.
Yes, the movie we're talking about later is a remake of an older movie.
No, I knew that, but I wasn't sure if he was talking about. I thought The Witch, which I now know was not. The Witches is not the name of that movie.
That's not the Witch. That's the Vavitch.
Yeah, that.
The Vavitch.
The Witch. Oh, I call it The Witch. But yeah, Witches, I had a fun time with. It was good. I liked it. Fanny and I, we also had a nice little date. We went down to Downtown Disney. I haven't been on Disney properties since January of this year. So being there was nice. We went on a day where Harley Owen was there. We were spaced out. I actually got to go inside the Lego store and look for the NES Lego set that I really want. I found it. I still saw the price tag for it. I'm like, maybe someday, not today.
How much is it?
I don't want to say. I'm scared.
No, I need to know because I don't know.
$229.
No way.
Yeah, guys,
it's worth the Lego of it is worth more than the console itself.
It is. Hell, even they had the Super Mario Lego starter set, which comes with Mario, the actual little electronic Mario where his eyes change and you can see the icons and he plays the music. That set just by itself is $60.
Legos are expensive.
Yeah, I remember.
Bless my parents for getting them when I was younger.
Yeah, Legos have gone dramatically risen in price and are no longer a toy for the lower classes.
Yeah, it's for rich white men.
Yeah.
I mean,
here's the Millennium Falcon.
When I was in the store, I saw some other amazing sets. They have these new Lego portraits where if you buy one thing, but there's 3 different options. They have a Star Wars Sith one where you can make portraits of Vader, Kylo Ren, and Darth Maul. They have a Beatles one with all 4 Beatles, an Iron Man one. And I thought those were actually pretty neat. And they also came out with the Diagon Alley Lego set from Harry Potter, which is pretty nice and expansive. But that one's cheaper than the NES one.
Wow, I wonder why Harry Potter stuff's on sale.
I don't think it was on sale, but it's like, why are you cheaper than this?
Have you guys seen the movie yesterday?
No, I have not. I really want to see that movie, though.
Tomorrow.
I've only seen it after
tomorrow.
That is a movie I remember.
I saw that movie.
I really want to see it. I haven't seen it.
It's a Gyllenhaal joint.
Yeah, but it was nice. Well, like when Fanny and I went to, besides the Lego store, we also went to World of Disney. She got me an early birthday present, which is the Hades Spirit jersey. We found the last one in my size at the store, so woohoo!
Nice.
And we actually did watch anime. One of mine and Fanny's favorite anime series ended this week. Does anyone else watch Food Wars besides me or no? Okay.
Negative.
All right. It's an anime about chefs, and it's actually really good, and I really enjoy it. And it ended, and we're bummed out, but it was a good ending. We liked it.
I'm glad.
What else did I do? I went out. I bought my comics this week, and that's pretty much it.
All right.
Mostly sleeping in, playing video games. Yeah. That's TLDR. Played video games and went a few places. That's about it.
Love it.
All righty then. So the rest of the episode is just gonna be news, guys. So strap in.
And a book club.
Strapping it on.
We have no topic this week because we couldn't think of one.
I mean, we could have, but we were just like, or we get shit done.
We could have faked it, but we're the fake nerds, and we don't want to take that name too seriously.
Exactly.
So I have here some new dates for some movies that have moved. No Time to Die.
Did I know people have died, but we're not going to talk about any deaths today?
No.
Is that the first time that we've ever not talked about deaths?
Not ever, but certainly in a long time.
Since the pandemic.
I'm just saying it's God bless that we had a week.
Major
celebrity deaths. Man, we went a whole week. I feel like it's been an eternity. So it's thank you, the Being Alive crew.
The Being Alive crew. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Okay. So No Time to Die. Coincidence.
Oh.
The 25th James Bond film has decided to bail out of this year altogether, leaving its November 20th, 2020 release date for a new release date of April 2nd, 2021.
Wow.
I think we all knew this was inevitable.
Yeah.
And because of that, F9: The Fast Saga, which I refuse to call it anything else, is moving from its April 2nd, 2021 release date and going to May 28th, 2021.
So just a month. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's
It was already
This is the first time Fast 9 has moved since the first time it moved.
Yeah, this is it was already so far away. Like 1 month isn't a big deal to me. I didn't expect to go to the movies until probably after my birthday, January 28th. So like, push every movie, just push them all. Do the Marvel. Get it out of the way. Dune, you're not coming out in December. It's not happening.
Unless by some miracle it's okay.
Dude, no way. I don't believe it.
Not with the
Wonder
cold
Woman
and flu season already ramping up and cases spiking again.
Yep.
Wait, did Wonder Woman move or is this still December?
Wonder Woman moved to December.
Yeah, and Dune is also
so it's
December.
still sitting there. Yeah.
I think something's moving. God,
I think they're both moving.
Yeah.
What was the movie I wanted to see, I figured should go to VOD? I forget.
All of them.
This is probably the biggest news we're going to talk about this week. This episode. They have cast Miss Marvel.
I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's definitely up there.
I'm so happy.
It's the
oh my God.
new addition. The new addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, playing Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is Iman Vellani.
Yo, man. She's a teenage girl. Like she looks the part. From everything, because she's young and on social media, she seems really fun. Her letterbox is really it's really funny. Her last movie that she reviewed was Contagion, and her review was LOL. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm just honestly the more exciting thing is just like one of the big rumor guys was like, yo guys, we're about to get a bunch of casting. Like the pandemic, like nothing's getting made, but a lot of casting. So just like get ready. And then we got She-Hulk, and then we got Miss Marvel. And I'm like, oh, it feels good.
What was really funny about that, and they said that I guess Moon Knight this week is coming this week,
probably
potentially. Every single person who said that, hey, we had some MCU casting news soon, also had the actress who plays Miss Marvel wrong.
Yeah,
because a lot of it was just like, hey, some big MCU casting. Don't know who's gonna play She-Hulk, but take a look at this person for Miss Marvel. Wink.
Yeah. There's one specific guy that I always go to, and he was like, it's like a bulk. It's gonna be like a bulk announcement in the next couple of weeks. He wasn't specific, but there's literally so many clickbait places that will do anything for clicks, and it's awful.
Did you guys see my tweet today? I was like, I bet we got this covered. It gets their news from the multiverse, and I would love to see the place where some of the shit they report is true.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I did see that. I'm really glad that they cast this actor. I'm really glad she's so young. It's going to be great to watch her grow into this role.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting when we're a decade from now and she's playing a Kamala older than Kamala has ever been in the comics.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to see.
Yeah, man.
And she would only be Peter's 17, 18 in the MCU at this point?
I think he's a senior, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was 16 in Homecoming.
Yeah, 17, turning 18 around there,
yeah.
Well, what is time? We've done a 5-year time jump. Like, what do you... I don't know.
True.
I mean, without the 5-year time jump. I'm not adding that to his.
Yeah.
But my point is, Peter and Kamala would be relatively close in age.
Yes, they would. Yeah.
They could be homies.
And I think that's cool. And it creates a dynamic that doesn't exist in comics that could be interesting to explore.
It would be so weird if like they did something like the Champions or like the Young Avengers, but it's instead of Miles, it's actually Peter Parker. That'd be so weird because like Peter's totally like a grown ass man now in the comics, and I'm like, oh man, I wonder if they would do that, or is he still will be like an Avenger? Like, will he be with the adults still? That's curious.
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of Spider-Man, though, Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro.
Speaking of clickbait news.
It's definitely not, though.
No, I know. But the thing is that when we first heard about it, we all assumed it was.
Oh, totally. Like the second I read Jamie Foxx coming out as a special, I was like, that's bullshit.
And we were all like, oh man, we got this covered, really blowing it out there, but this week.
Yeah.
and I was certain of it. But then there's a now deleted Instagram post from Jamie Foxx. Like, can't wait to be Electro again. Not going to be blue this time.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that's first of all, that's dope, because even though I don't think he's particularly good in that movie, Jamie Foxx himself is an awesome dude and an awesome actor. And I would love for him.
I will rebut that and say that I think he's doing a good job with a bad script.
Sure. That's fair. He's a good actor. It's still a bad movie. I would love for him to be given a good script. I know you do. I would love for him to be given a good script and given a great performance, not having to shit out diamonds instead of
now,
shit out.
a lot of people are implying that this could be multiversal. I have reason to think that maybe not. Maybe it is just him playing Electro
from this
universe.
So, like, a lot of people who were jumping to that clearly either haven't seen that Amazing Spider-Man 2 or haven't seen it in a while, because he died in that movie. So he can't be the Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 showing up in another one.
With something I don't agree with, but someone who very much said the same thing. Clearly people haven't seen the end of this movie. Clearly Electro was phasing into the multiverse when he dies.
Oh, Jesus.
And I watched that clip and I'm like, yo, that looks like that dude's dead. But people will grasp at straws for anything. I think it's just going to be just Max. What's his name? Max Schultz or whatever. It's going to be this Electro from this universe.
Yeah, I saw another clickbait of saying that Kirsten Dunst.
Nope.
And the guy that's freaking. I was like, we got Jamie Foxx, cool, but stop with the clickbait, guys. Just shoot.
Jameson isn't the same Jameson from the Raimi films.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that Jamie Foxx has to be the same Electro from the Mark Webb movies.
What it just means is that they're cool with recasting the same people, which means we can get all those old actors back in different ways still. You don't have to make a big silly reason. It's the multiverse. They already exist. You don't need to bring them here. They exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie Cox can still be Matt Murdock, even if you're going to pretend that Netflix show isn't canon.
God. That was all over Twitter. Like, you guys are bringing back Jamie Foxx. You better bring back Daredevil.
Oh, if they don't bring back Fox as Netflix, I will be mad. Or as Daredevil, I will be mad. Not as
actually, that more than anything gives me hope that we can see Vincent D'Onofrio play Wilson Fisk in a Spider-Man movie, because that's what I really want.
Bring them both back.
I started watching before I was playing Star Wars Squadrons. I started Jurassic World. I forgot Vincent D'Onofrio was in that.
Oh yeah, he is the guy, the trainer guy.
Yeah. Dude, I keep forgetting he was in Men in Black and in Full Metal Jacket.
Sure.
I'm so curious what the plot for this next Spider-Man movie is going to be,
and it has
Electro,
and it has home in the title, which is the lady said. So I'm
like, how is Electro going to factor into this whole story?
Like,
I mean, sure, but dang,
yeah. I imagine my final thought is like this will be the slowly build up to Sinister Six, and then the next movie is Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six.
The next one,
yeah, 100%. If they're bringing in Jamie Foxx, like, they're going.
Well, we only have like 3 so far, right?
We got okay. Let's see.
Wait, Scorpion,
Vulture,
Electro,
Shocker, maybe
Shocker.
You
can kind of bring back Shocker. One Shocker died, the other one was incarcerated.
Maybe Mysterio.
Okay. Yeah, that's
also,
the one.
Vulture.
Also, potentially,
we said Vulture.
Potentially Morbius or Venom too. Like, if we want to get real, like, that's an inevitability, because we know Vulture's in that Morbius movie. In the future with the Spider-Man stuff, they can do that. So, like, I don't know. That'd be cool. That'd be kind of cool. As bad as that Venom movie is, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think they have enough for Sinister Six that they
introduce too many.
I forgot Adrian Toomes is in Morbius. My gosh.
That's why Giamatti is Rhino. Give us both. Give me
I think Electro would be like the 6th member to add to that, and that they've already added 5 people.
That's true. Yeah, I'm sure they can whip it up.
Well, technically, we have no Mysterio at the moment.
Yeah, I was about to say Mysterio died.
I think it's the dude from Christmas Story.
I mean, yes, you can still have that guy be Mysterio, maybe, because somebody released that video, but
it's fun to speculate. This is really just weird news, because it's like, oh wow, okay, yeah, all right.
I don't know if this is how I want the Sinister Six to come about. I'll say that for sure.
Oh, Mag, don't worry, you're getting your Kraven solo movie. Don't worry. There he is. I forgot the Kraven solo movie. That's part of your Sinister.
JM Demantis, whatever said.
Yes.
Butcher, Carl Urban as Kraven.
Yeah.
I can see it. Oh yeah.
I think that's cool. I think you can cast somebody else, especially because Carl Urban's already done his MCU stint.
Wait, have we've seen? Oh yeah, Scourge. We've seen yeah Ding Dong Eurovision. Dan Stevens.
Yeah, I don't know if he's right for that, but I get what you mean.
I mean, he's a really good actor.
Yeah, I just picture Craven bigger.
No, definitely, he's not. Yeah. Joe Manganiello. That guy.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I still go back to the guy Manu Bennett, who was Deathstroke and Arrow.
Yeah.
I still think he'd be a
he
great
would
Craven.
Be dope.
He's smaller, but I think that could be a big break for him. I think he'd be really great in the role.
Yeah.
I base it more off his work. His work in Arrow is actually pretty good.
I agree.
But I base it more off his work in Spartacus.
Yeah.
He was really good
beefy in that.
He is beefy.
Yeah.
He's actually Australian.
A lot. He is very built.
Yeah.
He's actually Australian.
Oh
yeah. I think he'd be really good, personally, and I think he's like a more unknown. I think he could have a breakout hit with that. The thing is that, like, much like how we missed the beat of like when you should have introduced Venom for Peter Parker was when he went into space. How we missed that beat, I feel like we're missing the beat of when do you introduce Craven? Craven should be hunting down Spider-Man right now because everybody thinks he's a killer.
Yes.
That's how you introduce Craven, and we're probably not doing that. And I'm like, I feel like we're missing the moments that, like, it's so obvious. Put him
with
here.
The way that movie ended, it absolutely should be Craven. Yeah. Isn't like the Ultimate Craven like a reality TV hunter?
Yes.
Exactly. Like, just do that. Like, that'd be perfect. Like, I'm in New York trying to kill the spider. Like, that's messed up.
A long time ago, we allowed me to have a whole episode where I did my pitch for the Spider-Man sequels, and I said, "This is how you do Craven, and this is exactly how you do Craven."
Okay, so moving on to the other aisle of DC Comics, a new Spotify scripted podcast called Batman Unburied, written by David S. Goyer, is coming. Okay. The series will explore the darker parts of Bruce Wayne's character. That's all we know. They won't say anything more.
I mean, now that I know comic book podcasts can be good, I'm not gonna say no to it. I kind of just wish it wasn't Batman, but like,
I agree.
You know,
I was gonna say, I feel like there's 100 stories you could describe with that same tagline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Swamp Thing, but like, just like listening to poetry about like nature and shit and be all Swamp Thing. I'm like, man, that's kind of what I want to read, not some sad boy. But what are you gonna do?
I'm very deep in the midst of Batman oversaturation, even though I like some Batman things.
No, yeah, Batman's dope. Just
still
like
there,
much. I mean, even like Wolverine. Like, I wish he wasn't the one to have a solo title, even though it's really good. Sometimes other characters deserve the spotlight.
Yep.
I by the way, I know none of us are reading Joker War, but they did just bring back Cass and Steph as Batgirls, and I was really excited.
I did see that. I know James Tynion likes them a lot, and I super appreciate that.
Yeah.
Is Punchline getting her own comic or just a one shot?
Just a one shot.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, good. So I was like, of all the comics to give ongoings, DC.
No, she's no. But Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 3 is coming. We've got a release date for it. I expected Batman Earth 1 Volume 3 to be the next one announced, but Earth 1 is just whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-whoops.
We got another Earth 1 coming out, so here you go.
What'd you say, Sparks?
I said Earth 1 is whatever's ready when it's ready.
Yeah. But it was funny to me because Batman Earth 1 Volume 3 was John said it was done 2 years ago, and then Jim Lee said, "Yeah, Gary Frank is finished drawing it. We're just inking it." I'm like, "This is the longest inking I've ever heard of my life."
I don't believe you. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Anyway, but Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 3 will be Grant Morrison's final story with DC Comics, at least for now. It's coming out March 9th, 2021. And it will see Queen Diana, as we know from the end of Volume 2, try to unite the various Amazonia factions, different cities, to fight off Maxwell Lord's Ares robot army.
Heck yeah. I love that first volume, and I think that second volume is pretty good, pretty fine. I hope this third one ends well.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
obviously, Grant Morrison, Yannick Paquette come back. So,
yeah.
Okay. Guys like Conan the Barbarian?
I do quite a bit.
Well, Netflix is making a TV show just for you.
Thank you. No one else can watch it. Sorry, guys. Made for me.
That's it. That's all we know about it. Netflix just announced that they are going to develop a TV series because they've acquired the television rights.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, after like The Witcher and stuff, like and there's other shows as well, but like currently The Witcher is like the most like, yo, they can do some good sword and sorcery fantasy shit. So like, as long as it's like super violent, like I'm totally on board. Yeah. Marvel keeps doing it. We're like, yo, we're gonna get this property and then make it good. And like, what if Conan teamed up with Moon Knight? I'm like, yeah, all right, that's cool. Conan's pretty cool. I'm excited for this. I think live action Conan's probably cooler than Marvel Comics Conan because he can't be as rated R savage as he can as like isn't like Dark Horse stuff. Mm-hmm. But Conan rules. Like him a lot.
Yeah, I love that Jason Momoa movie. Anyway,
it's totally like a 5 out of 10, and I'm still waiting for that King Conan Arnold Schwarzenegger
old man
movie. He keeps talking about it, and I'm like, I don't believe you. Give it to me.
He teased it when the Conan comic came out.
That dude's like 70.
Visually, he feels like he's not physically old looking enough.
Yeah, okay.
He doesn't believe in CGI and makeup.
I'm too good looking.
There was a King Conan, Old Man King Conan variant cover made for the first issue of Conan the Barbarian for Marvel, and Arnold Schwarzenegger posted a video of him reading it, and like,
Yeah, I remember that. There's a King Conan comic coming out soon, or it's already out.
Oh, I'm not sure. While you're looking that up, I'll just move on to the next bit of news. The Gentleman. Anybody see the movie The Gentleman by Guy Ritchie? Matthew McConaughey? Charlie
Not
Hunnam?
yet. I've been wanting to see it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Hugh Grant?
Charlie Hunnam?
Future James Bond, Henry Golding?
I know what it is. I just haven't watched it.
Anyway, Guy Ritchie is apparently developing a sequel TV series to that movie.
Okay.
That is being shopped around right now.
Not starring any of the same people because they're too famous.
Matthew McConaughey is confirmed to star in the series.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Matthew McConaughey did Serenity. Now he'll do anything.
A long time ago.
It wasn't. It was 3 years ago.
Gross.
He's really good in The Gentleman.
No, Sparks threw me off there for a second because when he said Serenity, I thought, wait, he wasn't in the show with the.
No, he's talking about the video game movie Serenity. Yes.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the Joss Whedon Serenity. You don't remember Matthew McConaughey was Reaver number 7? He's like, all right, as he's throwing it.
All right.
Oh shit! All right. Anyway,
Good.
Guy Ritchie is writing and directing every episode of the series.
Wow.
Damn.
And like I said, Matthew McConaughey will return as his character again. He's very good at that movie, so I'm excited for this. I love that movie.
Awesome.
And right now they're just shopping around networks. So yeah.
Man, I imagine if you're getting McConaughey, then it's not going to be on like ABC. It's probably going to be like a big time network.
This is wait, who was in? Wasn't McConaughey in True Detective season 2?
Yeah, that's HBO.
He was.
Yeah.
No, he's season 1.
That's different. HBO always gets movie stars.
Yeah, HBO is like premiere shit. That's Game of Thrones. Yeah. I imagine it's going to be like that or something, or Netflix.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Honestly. Yeah. Guys, we all like The Lion King. The live action remake by Jon Favreau. We all like that movie. It's a great movie.
I don't like this joke. I don't think it's funny.
Right. Well, anyway, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride is getting a remake now.
Nope, that's not true. It's not. They're making a sequel to the live action. They are not making The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
That is
I know. Much to their detriment. The Lion King 2. I like that movie. Disney is moving forward with the sequel to their live action photorealistic Lion King movie with Barry Jenkins, who is the director of Moonlight, directing this one.
Barry, you made my favorite movie of that year, and it deserved that Oscar that it won for Best Picture. Sometimes I understand you just want a new pool. I get it. You just really need that new pool, Barry. And here's The Lion King.
Here's the thing. I'm not against this entirely. This is not going to be based off The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. They've already talked about that. Part of it is that they want
you don't need to keep ripping that away from me, Sam. Sparks. God damn it.
I'm giving you a gift.
They
are already talking about the fact that they want to explore stuff about Mufasa's past.
Ooh,
Uh,
prequel.
I don't think it's that. I think that they're actually like using Rafiki to communicate with Mufasa's spirit and learning things from the past.
Oh.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Theoretically, my point being, I don't actually know what this movie will be about, and that means I might be able to like it. My problem with the live action Lion King is that it's the same as the animated, and I'd rather just watch the anime because the anime did it better.
True.
Mm-hmm.
If this is not directly Simba's Pride, good. It shouldn't be. Simba's Pride is more comically cartoony than the original Lion King, so trying to do that into the live action animation is stupid. If you're going to do something new, something where you can explore new territory, cool. I'm more on board for that, to be honest.
You guys remember?
The thing is, I still don't care that I'm not going to be able to believe the animals are experiencing emotions.
Because remember, We Are One from Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Yeah, I remember all of Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, Brandon.
Nuke? Is that a line?
Luca?
Nuka. Yeah.
Yeah, Nuka. I'm right. I know my shit.
Yeah.
He's not in it.
He looks the first time I ever saw him was in when they play clips of things they're selling on VHS and DVD in Target, and they were playing a part of the Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, and I saw him, and all I saw was like a guy that looked like Scar, but like he had been like tattered and ripped up, and I'm like, oh, yo, did Scar survive the hyenas? What? And that's not who that is at all.
Do you know about Nuka, Ben?
I have seen Lion King 2 Simba's Pride.
Is your favorite song Upende?
Did you like that Jackie Chan was involved, Ben?
It's me. I'm Jackie Chan.
This whole podcast doesn't get that joke unless they watch the book club.
Sorry.
Sure.
I'll have a picture of Nuka.
I want to be hopeful that this could be something I like, but at the same time, I'm like, I hated that one. I don't really want to do this again.
It makes me extra worried because that movie made like $1.5 billion. So they don't need to make it a better movie.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They know they could put out a mediocre product. I mean, the movie looks great, but as a story, it's awful. Like,
if I hear it's not good, I'm not going.
Yeah, and it's like
it's a sad place for me to be where there's a Lion King thing coming out, and I'm like, yo, I don't think so.
Yeah. I feel like franchises get there at some point for everybody for different things. It's awful.
You kind of sold me on what it is, what we hope it's going to be, Sparks, and not what it is. And like, because when Brandon said, "Hey, it's going to be Lion King 2 Simba's Pride," I instantly thought, "Thanks, I hate it. Burn it. I don't want it. We don't need this."
You're right. I do not want a 1-for-1 live action Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. I don't want that.
No, we don't.
Remember when Nuka is being sung to? Was it Dishonor, Disgrace? Dishonor, Disgrace.
Hold up. Is that the one that's voiced by Andy Dick?
Yes.
I saw it once.
Yes.
And I don't
Andy Dick is Nuka.
Oh,
I regret talking about it now.
To the great shame of that movie. Yes.
Oh no, Andy. No.
Oh wait, no. Andy Dick is not Nuka. Andy Dick is his crazy little brother.
But the little brother's the one with the meme, right? The meme where it's like where you're trying to get your entire thing together and you're just looking batshit crazy.
What?
Yeah,
Andy
Dick
is Nuka. What are you talking about?
No, isn't Nuka voiced by the guy who plays Jason from Boy Meets World? That's a deep cut. I'm sorry. That's a horrible cut.
Are you thinking of Kovu?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Kovu, the one who falls in love with Simba's daughter, is voiced by that guy. Nuka is voiced by Andy Dick.
It's definitely the Andy Dick.
Yes.
Got even the same gross goatee.
Yes.
Good God, Brandon. Know your Lion King 2.
I'm sorry.
Don't come to me unless you're ready to play.
Shit.
All right, I'll come after Lion King 1.5.
Damn,
Anyway.
Sparks flashed in the tattoo too. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
A little while ago, we did a book club on the comic book Black by Black Mask Comics.
That was like 2 years ago, I feel like.
Yeah.
Jeez, please.
Warner Brothers has picked up the rights to adapt that film, that comic book into a film. Brian Edward Hill has written the script for it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That dude writes a lot of comic books. Interesting.
I'm stoked because I think that a film medium can really flesh that world out, and I think that world is cool.
Man, and that book's super heavy, so I really hope well, I imagine that it's just gonna go for it.
Yeah, I hope so.
God, that's a cool ass black superheroes dealing with depression. Yeah, that's I'm about it.
Yeah.
Black just goes, allegory for mutants? Nah, let's just be direct.
Yeah.
Only black people have powers. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Just throw all that allegory out the window. Don't need it.
We don't have to talk about this next one. I just thought that was weird. Hillary Clinton is developing a TV series on the CW with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
About what?
So it's called The Woman's Hour. The first season will be based on a book called The Woman's Hour, The Great Fight to Win the Vote, which is about the battle to ratify the 19th Amendment. And every season after that will be based on a different major event for women.
So my only thing with this is that there are a lot of iconic women who have done more for female empowerment than Hillary Clinton. And the biggest thing Hillary Clinton did, recognizably, was lose at possibly being the first female president, which she shouldn't have, I acknowledge. But I can picture so many other people who would be better suited to do this than her. In many ways, I am in a political spectrum where I would kind of prefer Hillary Clinton, and the Clintons in general just stopped. I don't really want to hear from them anymore. I voted for her, but I don't agree with a lot of the things she believes in. And she certainly is not a person who pushed a lot of women empowerment rights. Not to the extreme that a whole lot of other people like Michelle Obama and other people who are in bigger statuses have. That's my 2 cents on it. I wish that someone else were spearheading the show, because I kind of don't, me being a white man, so whatever. I don't really care to hear Hillary Clinton guiding this. I'd rather someone who gives more of a crap, I think, and isn't looking for her next opportunity to be important was doing it. My hope is that she's kind of like it is just a spearhead thing and not she is the face of it, right?
Because
I'm no maestro of politics, but I've been around long enough to know I don't trust that lady. Sorry. So like, hopefully it's just her like putting the money behind it, and they get actual people who really care and really are invested to actually lead the thing, instead of, I don't want to turn it on and go, "Hi, it's me, Hillary Clinton." I'm like, oh no.
I mean, just like at the end of every episode of the Jackie Chan Adventures, when Jackie Chan would do something, Hillary Clinton at the end of every episode here says, "Hi, I'm Hillary Clinton."
In 20 years.
That was Ben's favorite part.
But Steven Spielberg, not Stephen King.
I think that it's a good idea in like a general sense, but I agree. Like, my concern is that this is going to be very much about like
her,
Hillary Clinton doing her own version of a daytime show where she gets to host through these moments and get a lot of recognition for it. And I just feel like there are people who are more altruistic and more active, frankly, on that front, who would be better positioned in that role.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Speaking of Stephen King, actually, Ryan, you brought up Stephen King, Ben's favorite person in the whole world, best friend,
BFF,
stepfather to Joe Hill, Zac Efron.
I would pay so much money for Stephen King to be the person who marries Ben off. I would pay so much money for that to happen.
Like at my wedding?
I would go into debt. I would go into debt.
Hello, Mr. King, would you like your house so you can just go and be at a wedding?
Patreon goal. I'm doing this.
$10,000.
We guys, Patreon. Okay, we got a Patreon. Click the link in the description. So subscribe to our Patreon. Let's make this happen, people.
Is he even an ordained minister?
We'll get him ordained. We'll pay for that too.
Shit, man, you can get that shit on the internet. It's easy.
All right.
Actually, you're right. My dad became an ordained minister just for the hell of it.
But Ben, how do you feel about the book Firestarter?
Nothing.
How do you feel about the electronic song Firestarter? Get the Firestarter.
Did you at least like the first adaptation of Firestarter that had my former roommate? And its sequels?
never even knew it was a thing.
Man, what kind of Stephen King friend are you?
I saw the first one.
I really hate this bit.
Zac Efron has been cast in the remake of Firestarter, the new adaptation from Blumhouse Studios.
Cool.
That's sick. I really, really, really like Zac Efron a lot.
He really had grown into his own as a performer. I'm happy for him.
Great comedy chops, great acting chops. Not terrible to look at. Yeah, I'm into it. Firestarter is about a pyrokinesis, and it's basically carry both fire. So get ready for him to be the Human Torch in 2 different movies, because he's my choice, Johnny Storm.
I want him in an action movie.
He wouldn't have the power, right?
I don't remember.
It's the little girl.
It is a little girl.
It was Drew Barrymore.
You're right. I knew Drew Barrymore was in there, but I'm like, are they gender swapping it? But no, you're right. Yeah, good.
Zac Efron as the little girl.
As Drew Barrymore.
Hey, I still think Keira Knightley would have been great as Cable. Still think that.
Do you guys remember last week when we talked about the offer about the making of The Godfather, the new TV series coming to Paramount Plus?
Yeah, I remember
that. Well, apparently there is a second project that has been in the works since 2017 about the very same thing, and only this time it's a movie.
I mean, weirder things have happened.
Oscar Isaac has been cast as Francis Ford Coppola, and Jake Gyllenhaal has been cast as Robert Evans.
That's some good casting. Yeah. Oscar Isaac's a pretty good Coppola. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I mean, they already did all those movies about the making of Apocalypse Now, because that's one of the worst, most problematic.
Tropic Thunder, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Productions of all time. So I guess The Godfather is the next logical step. Man, Godfather's a great movie.
Speaking of Coppola, by the way, Patrick Williams just put out a really interesting video about him.
Is it?
He'd been working on it for a long time.
Oh, did it finally come out?
He finally got it out yesterday.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it. Hell yeah!
I'm sorry. Was it yesterday or this morning? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Time is a lake.
But I watched it. It was good.
I'm glad. Cool.
Time's weird, man.
Okay, so that's cool. Real quick bit of Marvel news. Spider-Man PlayStation 5 had some interesting things that Ryan wanted to talk about.
Yes, it did. So Sparks, do you know the story?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell it while I pull up a picture real quick?
I don't know it that well.
Okay. Okay. So it's very so. We all played Spider-Man on PS4. Peter Parker is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, but his body is captured by a different performer. His face is captured by a different performer.
Yes.
For the remaster of PS5 of Spider-Man.
I didn't know the story, I guess.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought I knew.
Okay.
I guess I did.
They have recasted Peter Parker. It is a completely new actor, and he does not look at all like the character he used to look like. So I
knew that part.
I want to pull up this quick picture. Hold on. Spider-Man PS5.
How are you going to show the audience?
Guess what? We have the technology, my man.
Oh, can you share it too? I didn't know that.
I absolutely can.
There's a share screen.
Share a screen. Sharing the screen. So this new Peter Parker. There we go. Let's find it. You see this? How do you see this? We're doing this live.
Did you share the screen?
There we go. Can you see it? Can you see this? Can you see this right here?
No.
Oh shit!
Pop it up. Can you click on it?
I'm sure. I don't know.
No.
Click on it.
I guess I can't. Oh, there we go. I'm silly. There we go.
You
see this guy right here? Oh, this is him. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew the face change. I didn't know this was a whole actor thing. I didn't know that part of the story.
So it's super weird.
Wait, pull up the ASM suit.
This one?
No,
the Spider-Man suit. Oh, where's that? Right here?
Up.
Sorry. Oh, got it. Bam. There you go.
Yeah, baby. That suit looks good.
Yes.
So it's looking like an ass suit.
If I can find the article. Oh, it went away. Hold on. If I can find the article, the reasoning.
This is riveting for the audio listeners, by the way.
I'm sorry. No, it is true. So Spider-Man is going to have a different look, and the reasoning is very strange. And if I can find it, it's right here. It quickly became apparent that delivering an even more believable-looking characters, finding a better facial match for the voice actor Yuri Lowenthal, who we all love as Peter, a necessity for a change. So they hired this new actor who just looks like Tom Holland to me, I think, a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, that's all the share screen I'm going to do.
A lot of people have said that it's just like someone deep fake Tom Holland onto him.
Now, and it's not He doesn't look exactly like Tom Holland, but I will say he looks a lot more like Tom Holland than he used to. That's all I'll say. I find it to be an unnecessary change because it's not like they're changing any of the other actors in the game. It is for Peter Parker, and I think it's because he's going to show up in the Miles Morales game looking different, so they have to go back and change him for the original game, or else it would just be weird. They're not doing it for the original PS4 game. It's not getting a patch. It is only for the PS5 remastered edition.
You did bring up a good point, actually, that I recalled. The guy who plays Peter Parker in that game does look like he's about almost 30, maybe older.
Yes.
Whereas Peter's only supposed to be like 23.
Yeah, he's supposed to be 23. The voice actor, also Yuri Lowenthal, is like he's like almost 50. That dude's like old. He's been voice acting for animes for decades. And they wanted someone whose voice matched the face a little bit better than the PS4 version. And I think we all like the PS4 version, right? Like I have no problems with it.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with this new change, but a lot of people online really do. And I found it was a very interesting day on Twitter.
So this is a new voice actor for the PS5 also?
No.
Okay.
It is just the face.
I was trying to follow the story and it got a little confusing.
No, I'm sorry. So yeah, the voice acting is the same and the physical thing is the same, only the face is different.
Okay.
So it is a brand new face to make him look a lot younger. If you put him next to Miles, they almost look the same age, which is interesting because Miles is supposed to be 17 and Peter's 23. The reasoning was with the PS5 technology, they wanted to give a better representation of our Peter. And we just felt with the upgrade from the PS4, he didn't look right. So we wanted to get a new face. That just seems weird to me.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a good reason. And it's not like anything's come up of the face actor. Like he's not like a bad person or like has any scandals. It just seems like a weird change. We're like, yeah, we just wanted to make him look really young. And I just thought I just bring it up because on Twitter, people were sending death threats to those developers. And
don't ever do that.
Yeah, it was a really shitty day. I'm just like, it's a weird change, but I don't think it's a big deal. But it is going to be weird playing that game again, and it's a completely different dude.
Yeah.
My only real thing for it is that like I get like wanting to make him look maybe fresher face or younger or having to redo the face or anything, but I'm like, this just doesn't even look like the same Peter Parker. This doesn't look like a younger Peter Parker. This looks like an entirely different Peter Parker.
Yeah, it's not like
and I'm like, look, I get it, but like I got attached to that game, so I got attached to that design and I liked it. It worked. I watched that design cry and felt things. So it's weird to have it change like this. It's weird to feel like I also am thinking of Peter's voice in the game and don't think this face matches. I think I've even watched the clip.
Yeah, there's a
clip.
It
looks weird. I don't think that the face matches the voice. I'm like,
agree.
this is a bizarre thing. I'm not like offended and angry. I just also don't think it's a good choice.
I don't think it's necessary. Yeah.
I will say I don't think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
I don't think that this face matches the voice. I don't think that this face still feels like the same character who I watched, and therefore I feel like I have to play this one again in order to re-know this Peter Parker, and I'm like, that's super weird, and that's a weird valley to live in.
And that's the problem also. We haven't really talked about it, but like, I think we might have talked about it a little bit, but the only way you can get the remastered Spider-Man
is if you buy the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition.
Is if you buy the really expensive.
If you put your PS4 disc into the PS5, you will get a nicer running version of the PS4 version, but you will not get automatically the remastered edition.
Yes. So the only way to get that new game is to buy that super expensive version, which makes sense. But also, some people can't afford that or don't want to do that. So people are going to play Miles Morales, and we're going to see this new Peter Parker and going, "Who's that? What's going on?" Because people are just going straight from the PS4 to that. Some people like me aren't going to buy a PS5, so I'm just going to get the PS4 Miles Morales. Is that character going to look like that too? That's weird. I just think it's a weird situation. That was like, why did you make the decision? I wonder.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that was my whole thing. Like, I didn't. It's not. It doesn't make my blood boil or anything. But I just tweeted. I was like, but why?
Yeah.
Well, also, that's not the only thing that got gamers all up in a hissy fit this week as well.
Do you have Smash news this week?
Oh yeah.
There was Smash news.
There was.
I didn't see that. I saw this actually.
Yeah.
Roll into it.
Before we move too far into it, just again, it really does just come down to me that I if you haven't watched a video clip, watch a video clip of that new Peter Parker talking. The face doesn't match the voice, and that's really the only problem. Is like I'm like, if the voice doesn't look right with the face in any animation, it's a little jarring.
Yeah,
and that's really all this comes down to for me. Is that I'm like, if I watch him and I feel like something's off, then it's hard for me to get connected.
I agree.
The end. Move on.
All right. So yeah, Smash announced a new character this week. And it's Steve Alex, a zombie, and Enderman from Minecraft.
Hell yeah.
And let's just say a lot of people were really, really mad about this.
A lot of grown men were very mad, and
What was the guy you retweeted who was just like, if you like this, you need serious mental help. And I'm like, dude.
This like 35-year-old grown man talking about a video game. Yeah.
About a video game character who is DLC for one of the biggest fighting games or fighting games / party games, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, people got really pissed, and I actually didn't mind it. I had a feeling Steve from Minecraft was going to show up eventually.
There was this one Smash fan on Twitter. They accurately predicted the last 4 characters to a T.
Yeah.
Like way before. He's like, yo guys, but the way that things are, I bet these are the next 4. And then they tweeted after the Steve thing is like, I am a golden god. And I'm like, damn, you were really good. And I'm like, it makes sense. Like what they choose from. Like, I understand some older gamers going, why would they put Minecraft in this Smash game? I don't think people truly understand how big Minecraft is.
Oh no, they don't.
128 million people play every month.
It is
a 10-year-old phenomenon. Like before,
no, it is without a doubt the most people have said Minecraft. I'm pretty sure this is true. It is the highest selling video game of all time.
It is. You can buy it on your phone. It's like Fortnite, but before Fortnite, you play it on everything. Yeah,
it's easy. It's so easy. It's a sandbox, and people can go in and make really cool things, and you don't have a super powerful computer to run it because the graphics are very crude and simple. It's easy to start up.
Yeah.
I understand being disappointed,
Sure.
And like having wanted someone else to be in the game. I myself am that way. And getting Minecraft is like, honestly, I couldn't care less. I probably will never really play them. I don't very much care for Minecraft myself. But I'm not insane about it. It's just, okay, this is just a character that's going to be out of the game, and I'm not really going to care, but it's not for me. It's not being done for me.
Yeah,
I wish there was a character that was being done for me, but that hasn't happened yet. So,
Banjo was for you?
No, Banjo was for me. I'm saying there's a particular character.
No, I know. You guys aren't going to get him.
All three of you know who I want to be in Smash Bros.
You're not going to get him, man. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Goku, right? Goku.
No,
It's Sora.
No, it's Goku.
Oh, it's He wants Sora.
I want Goku.
You're not getting either of those.
I know.
But
It's unfortunate.
the way I saw it was that the announcement came up, and my thought process was, okay, cool. And then it's like, there's still 4 more slots left in this fighters pack.
Yep.
They instead of the 5 like they did last time, they're saying there's 6 character packs in this DLC. We have 2, Min Min and now Steve. So we have 4 more slots left. There's a chance that other characters, because a lot of people are hoping for Banjo-Kazooie, or not Banjo, damn it, Sparks, Crash Bandicoot. That's the one. They want Crash Bandicoot. No, you put Banjo-Kazooie in my brain, that's why.
I didn't even say it. He said it.
Crash and Spyro are more likely than
Crash.
Spyro would be great. Spyro is another one that people have floated around. And I'm like, I would love Spyro to be in Smash. Yeah. I think that's exceptionally cool.
Yeah. And
happy. Mag says, still happy Bomberman and Travis Touchdown are outfits for Mills.
Mies.
It's
your own little avatar that you can make, so you can dress.
I remember. Now that you said it, I remember.
And being totally honest with you, like, I'm sitting in a very tiny camp that I'm sure Ben's in too. He just probably hasn't thought of it. But I'm sitting in a very tiny camp that wants Eggman to be in Smash.
Sure.
Which is
more for Knuckles, to be perfect.
No, I want Eggman.
You want you know what? Eggman would be pretty cool. I'm in the camp for Eggman and maybe another Final Fantasy character, not Sephiroth.
You already got too many sword boys. Do something.
Yeah,
else.
we don't need another sword boy.
Stop with the Fire Emblem, please. I get it. I mean, we get it.
They're not going to do another fire. They had Violet. He's the last one. But
a
Fire Emblem hasn't come out in a while, so we're good.
That I watched the announcement with Sakurai, and like he's really funny. And he was like, "Do you know how hard it is to build Minecraft in this? We had to redo every single stage to allow Minecraft to be done in stage. You guys don't know what we did for you." And I'm like, "That's cute." It looks really fun. Like,
yeah,
it looks really like for how basic the character looks. He's actually very complex. In a way where I'm like, I don't think I'll play this character because it's all about building and shit.
Have you seen what Kirby looks like after he absorbs him?
No. Oh my god.
He is just a cube. He is a cube with the Kirby eyes.
I appreciate it for the level where, like, the same reason why I like having Mr. Game & Watch amongst all these other characters.
Yeah.
I think that's really fun and everything.
He is cute.
I'm excited. I'm just excited for like whatever comes next. This is not the character I was waiting for, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like after this announcement, obviously you're gonna have there's the camp that I haven't seen yet, but I'm sure they're happy that Steve's in there. There's probably a bunch of kids.
I'm gonna make
more kids play Smash than adults.
I'm gonna make a deep pool. Do you know who I want in Smash?
Who?
Beautiful Joe.
He's a trophy. I don't think he's going to get in the game.
I know.
He would
Beautiful Joe fits in Smash so well. Him and his female counterpart would both fit in.
Beautiful Joe and Sylvia. Oh, Sylvia could be an Echo Fighter. You don't have to, she could be. You could have like 3 color contrasts for Beautiful Joe and 3 for Sylvia. Oh, because people have been saying Beautiful Joe and also Shantae, the genie girl.
Sure. Yeah. I believe that hard.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
She's having a huge resurgence audience right now.
And that's funny. Those games started off as actual like Mario ripoffs.
Yeah.
And then they became like their own dope games, which is cool.
Fun fact, the original Game Boy Color cartridge for Shantae, the hardest Game Boy Color game to find because it came out when the Game Boy Advance was still in its run. However, if you don't want to spend $250+ on a loose cartridge, you can still get the game on the Nintendo 3DS eShop for $10.
Ooh. Thank you.
I feel like we should let other people dictate what's a fun fact.
I thought it was fun.
Fact.
There we go. It's a fun fact.
There you go.
Thank you, guys. But yeah, that's Smash news.
Okay.
Hashtag for Smash. I will die on that hill. I don't care.
No. For our 200th episode, about 11 weeks ago. God. We did a very long, very good deep dive into Neon Genesis Evangelion.
He's slapping my tattoo. Sorry, audio listeners.
A series that has not been made available in North America for quite some time outside of streaming, which is recent. It will now be coming to Blu-ray for the first time in America next year. By G Kids has picked up the distribution rights.
G Kids makes excellent Blu-ray anime releases. The transfers are beautiful. They usually come with a bunch of bonus features. The audio's very crisp. They are the current producers of all the Blu-rays for Miyazaki. All his films, all the Studio Ghibli films are through there. The Lupin film will be coming through there. They're a super great group. I believe, I didn't look it up, but I believe the Paranoia Agent release, that is also a big deal that it's coming to Blu-ray and DVD. It's less famous than Neon Genesis Evangelion, but it is just as big a deal, is also being spearheaded by G Kids. So this is great. That is a great company to have doing this.
I don't buy many things. This is one of those things I will be buying.
Yes.
This is also one of those things I will be buying.
They say that they will have. They said they will have the original episodes with the. They said specifically the original 26 episodes with the 2 films.
So I'm assuming the original dub, not the Netflix dub, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Groovy.
Actually, I just want to point out there is some confusion on that. A lot of people, the article is not clear. The press release is not clear. They could mean the original Japanese. We know that Anno did the director's cuts for the final episodes. We don't know if those are included.
It's very rare that G Kids ever does a release of anything that doesn't come with English dub attached to it. So I would be shocked if they were making this announcement and not specifying it is Japanese only. So I do believe it is the original run, because I don't think that it would be the Netflix run this soon. Yeah. So I do believe it is the original run, and I do believe it will have the director's cut episodes, because that same team did make those director's cut episodes, and they know the fan base gives a crap about it. And like I said, G Kids is a company that cares about the fans. They're like Shout Factory for anime.
Hell yeah.
They give a crap about what the fans want. So I would be shocked if the director's episodes are not included in the set.
Give the people what they want.
Speaking of Shout Factory, the last Digimon movie comes out this week.
Yes, it does.
Wow.
Sad all over again. Yay!
But that's cool. I'm excited to finally own Neon Genesis. I was hoping.
Yes.
And we don't have to get rid of our firstborn child to do it.
I mean, I still might just for fun.
Sparks, you want to talk about this Shaman King?
I do. So did anyone read Shaman King?
I don't read.
I read bits of it in Shonen Jump magazine.
What's a book?
Huh?
What's a book?
Yeah, cute. So I read a decent chunk when it was first coming out, and then I dropped off. And part of the reason I dropped off is I knew that the American run wasn't gonna ever finish, and this was before I would read manga chapters online. This was before that, and so I was just like, well, I'm never going to get the end of the story, because the last 3 volumes of Shaman King never got an American release in any form. That is changing. Well. Shaman King is coming to Comixology, along with all of its spin-off series, with all of its material for American audiences for the first time, releasing through October right now, all the way up to the end of the year. All of the Shaman King spin-off series and regular run will be releasing on Comixology, and then next year we're getting physical editions that will run all the way to the end of the series for all of those things in paperback in 3-in-1 omnibus editions.
Nice.
That's cool.
This is awesome news. I have a lot of reason to want to go back to Shaman King at this point. I always liked the concept. I always wanted to finish the story. Now that it's getting a physical release and digital release in America, and there's a new anime happening that is going to be more faithful to the manga that is starting up in Japan right now. I'm stoked. I am stoked to get back into Shaman King. I think a lot of people slept on it, and it's actually a really great shonen.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
At this point, it's the better Bleach.
Oh yeah. Does anyone care about Yashahime? Because that started this week and I haven't watched it yet. Did anyone watch it?
Do you mean is that the spinoff of Bleach?
No, that's the Inuyasha spinoff.
Oh, got you. There's a spinoff of Bleach that just started too. It's the European Soul Society.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like Ichigo and spoilers for Bleach, I guess. Does anyone care?
No.
Oh, that's because I know
the end of it. I know the end of it. So
yeah, because when you said there's a spinoff, I thought it was going to be Orihime and Ichigo's kid, along with Renji and Rukia's.
At least not at this moment.
Yeah. At least they're not pulling a freaking Boruto.
Yashahime, Princess Half Demon?
Yep, that's the one. It started this week. I haven't watched it yet.
Started yesterday.
It seems more accurately that the Bleach spinoff is the European. It's like the Fantastic Beasts for Bleach.
Oh.
Oh, Inuyasha and Kagome.
Oh.
Like the second you said Fantastic Beasts for Bleach, I'm like, no.
Ryan, is the title Inuyasha backwards?
Is it? No.
It's
Yashahime.
It's every single time you've said it, Ben has talked over you, so I'm never getting a clear. I'm not getting a clear sound out of that.
No, it's Yashahime.
Gotcha.
I just want to see Inuyasha and Kagome together.
So do I.
Okay. Trailers.
T-Talk.
Truth Seekers had a trailer last week, which we forgot to talk about. I didn't even know it came out.
Yep.
This is the Nick Frost Ghost Hunter one.
Yes. Yeah, this definitely looks like a show I'll watch if I hear maybe it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the end when he's just like has to what? Yep, you're in. I like that.
I think Nick Frost, that's me, as to.
Yeah, I think Nick Frost is really good. I'm hopeful that this is a solid show.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. Marvel 616, a new Disney Plus docuseries. Paul Scheer is directing one of the episodes. So is Karen Gillan.
Yeah. Man, it's just spotlighting like different people who work in like the movies or the comics or the stuff like that, and like diversity. And I'm like, yeah, man, it looks cool about it.
I'm like really interested about the episode focusing on the people who are making the Marvel Spotlight books, the plays.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool that that's going to be one of the spotlighted things. Dan Slott's in it, so whatever.
Hey, man, he does do good stuff sometimes.
I know.
Oh, is that the guy?
Just like, I'm the guy that killed Spider-Man, and I'm like,
that was him.
No, I don't know what half these writers look like. So when he said, "I'm the guy that killed Spider-Man," I'm like, $20. That's Dan Slott.
Sure was.
I'll take that action.
Did you owe yourself $20?
Did you?
Wait, are you talking to me or are you talking to him?
I'm talking to you.
You said 20. You said
I gave myself $20 again. Okay.
All right.
The Craft Legacy.
Yo, I want to see this.
Yeah, this looks great.
That's
Spicy.
pretty good. I was surprised.
I'm excited.
This is either a sequel or a remake of a movie called The Craft, based off a book called The Craft.
It's definitely
It's a sequel because you see a picture
of the main
in
character
the book from the original.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything about The Craft.
Yeah. It's
Watch it.
Yeah, it's
You'd
good.
like it.
I just
Maybe
saw-
now I will. Maybe now I will.
I just thought, hey, normally when someone goes into a coven of witches, she tries to get out, but instead she's the one who takes over, and the other witch is like, yo, she's getting too powerful. We need to stop her. I like that idea. I want to watch it.
Yeah, man.
Mulder and/or Scully is in this.
You know which one it is.
I don't actually. I've never seen the X-Files.
Oh my god, his name is Fox Mulder. Come on, dog.
Thank you.
Come on, dog.
But yeah.
No, his name's Fox for life.
All right.
Lucian.
I do. Orlando Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evolution. I remember Evolution.
People where I've been.
From the producers of Ghostbusters is what it said on the poster.
I like that movie.
I do too.
Yeah, that's a good one. Wolfman's Got Nards.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Monster Squad is dope, guys. Shane Black directed this movie.
He wrote
and did he just write? He didn't direct.
He did not direct it.
Okay, who directed it?
I'll tell you in a second.
Thank you. Monster Squad's dope. I love it.
I also love the Monster Squad.
I live for Monster
directed
Squad.
by Fred Decker, who also wrote and directed Night of the Creeps.
Right. Thank you.
I need to see this movie still.
Monster Squad is the movie.
Yes, you do. Monster Squad should not be slept on.
This
If you haven't
is-
seen it, you
man.
should be seeing it, Brandon.
Of all the
I've seen Monster Squad.
You better.
I've seen Monster Squad.
All right, I'm giving you a quiz later.
Of
you
all the
own it?
movies I want to get
Yeah, I
remade.
own it.
Of all the movies I want to get remade, this is the one. I think just like getting all the the Universal monsters together, but like it's like a fun slapstick like kids movie. Like it's just so good, and Wolfman's Got Nards. It's good.
Yes.
This was apparently so. The first trailer for this came out 2 years ago.
It's like it was like a Kickstarter or like a Indiegogo like project that's just been in development for a long time.
I'm really glad that it's happening.
Yeah.
And I think the title's great.
I love documentaries on like the making of like movies and like the culture after them
Especially,
and stuff.
honestly, especially cult classic ones.
Yeah.
Cult
Have we
classic
seen-
ones are always really interesting and weird because you get such, not like film auteur
Yeah.
opinions about the movie, but it's like, yo, man,
Best
that shit just lit up my life.
best
Like,
worst movie is the
Yeah,
Troll.
yeah, the movie about Trolls 2. I want to see that.
Have you seen the
Hell
documentary?
yeah, Mag. Every Halloween Monster Squad ends up on my TV at least once.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the documentary that Screen Junkies did for Galaxy Quest?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
I haven't either, but I want to.
I want to as well. Yeah, I'm super stoked for this.
Same.
Franken Zed.
This looks awesome. I have no idea when we are going to see it. This trailer was released because there is a event about to happen called Night Stream, where a whole bunch of independent horror films and non-independent horror films a lot of them are about to have their world premieres. It's like a festival thing. It's virtually happening. You have to get your tickets for it. Tickets are like $64. And even though there's a lot of cool movies that are on that list, you have like 3 days to watch a crap ton. It's like, I'm not kidding, 35, 40 films.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I'm like, I'd love to, but I'm not going to get my money's worth right now if I try and do this.
Yeah.
But Franken Zed is on that list, and it's having its world premiere October 11th for this event. And
Puppets,
then hopefully
baby.
we'll get it on VOD or whatever later. But I'm super excited about this because I had no idea about it until this trailer dropped this week. And I'm just really happy to see not only like horror with puppets, but puppets being done with film that is not coming out of the Henson Company. It has its own unique look, its own way of doing things, and I'm really intrigued by it.
Yeah, this looks all right. It wasn't for me, if I'm honest, but it looked interesting.
Yeah, it's
what are they doing?
Dracula musical. I just want that all the time. So
That's been forgetting Sarah Marshall.
yeah, Sarah Marshall. Yeah. I think puppets rule. And anytime puppets do things that I'm not used to them doing, I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Especially the blood and guts. That was just
Like, and the way that they do it is super inventive, and I always love the way that puppetry can just be inventive in that way.
Yeah.
What was the movie with Melissa McCarthy and the puppets that was like?
Oh, Jesus!
I've been trying to think of the name all conversation. That's Brian Henson's film, though.
But yeah, Franken Zed like really appeals to me. Just the puppets look unique. the way they've crafted the film looks very interesting. I love the set pieces that are around it. There's one shot in particular where it's just like a face in a green mist, and I'm like, I think this is going to be some really weird shit, and I'm into it.
Happy Time Murders.
That's
Happy
it.
Time Murders, yes. Okay. Borat, subsequent movie film.
It has a much longer title that involves Mike Pence, but I think they changed it since then because they got yelled at.
They did?
Yeah, it used to be involved like, we are making this movie for Mike Pence, please pay attention to us, kind of like, it had like a long ass stupid title. I loved Borat when I saw it. Borat I will remember as being the funniest I've ever seen my dad laugh in his life, where he was literally like falling over on the person next to him because the scene was just like balls, just so insanely funny. That's one of my favorite experiences seeing a movie is Borat. I don't think this trailer made me laugh because honestly, Borat's the type of thing where like it's the situations that he's in. It's not so much like, this is funny. It's like watching the movie, you have to see the whole scene in its entirety. It's not so much a punchline type of joke. So I think this trailer
Much like the Croods.
Sure. Yeah, it looks like the Croods. Except Borat 1 I saw. Sacha Baron Cohen is so smart and so funny. Emma, I'm talking about Borat.
That's Astra.
He did that show, What is America, or This is America, on Showtime. That was just
we didn't finish that.
No, but like he did like 2 seasons of that, and that's he's basically just like, hey, I love doing that so much.
That's where he got Dick Cheney to sign a water jug for waterboarding.
Hell yeah, what a man. I'm talking about Dick Cheney, of course. Borat 2, that was a joke. That's gross. I'm really happy that he's even back just doing this.
Me too. There's definitely some situations I'm really interested to see. Specifically him in the quarantine with the hard Republicans.
Oh yeah, like, can I come stay with you?
Yeah. And and obviously breaking into the Pence conference.
Yes, which was a real thing that happened, but we didn't know it was Sacha Baron Cohen. This happened in like February. He was making this movie throughout the pandemic, as you saw in this. That dude's legitimately like really funny and like politically charged in a way that I'm like, I never want you to stop making stuff because like we need people like you.
Yeah,
that's it.
I want to watch it for sure.
I love it.
So
I think he does a good job of.
You guys are glitching out a bit.
Are we?
You are.
Man, are we glitching?
Yeah, you are.
Oh no!
Well,
You
we're
look a
fine
little
on our
pixel-
end.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we're fine on our end.
You're good now.
We're excited for this thing.
Yeah, he does a good job of ribbing politicians. So
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Remember when he was in Sweeney Todd? Yeah.
Yep.
I do. He's good in Sweeney Todd.
Remember when he was in Alice Through the Looking Glass?
No,
Mhm.
I didn't see it.
Neither did I.
Remember when he was,
I did. What?
he was in Les Mis?
He was?
Yeah.
Remember when he was going to be Freddie Mercury in the good Bohemian Rhapsody movie, and then he left because creative problems said that they wanted to make a worse movie, so he left? Yeah.
I love the idea that it was just like, I'm sorry, Sasha, we want to make a worse movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. I only make good movies. Bye.
All right.
Oscars.
Not, oh boy. Oh boy.
All right, guys, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm super high. So, look, I'm hearing some shit outside my door, and it's freaking me out. But I think it's just the cats playing.
I would
I'm sure
assume
it is.
it's one of the
Either
nine.
that, or I'm about to die.
Well, at least I'll be live.
Stay tuned. Anyway, so I'm kind of freaked out. Anyway, The Witches had a trailer. This is Robert Zemeckis' Anne Hathaway movie.
Mm-hmm.
This looks good. I don't know how I feel about it entirely.
HBO Max original. Forgot to say.
Because it wasn't supposed to be, but it is now.
Mhm.
The Witches from 1990 with Angelica Houston, which Ben referenced earlier, is still a good movie today. The practical effects are incredibly good. Obviously, they had the Jim Henson Company on it, and I don't know that it needed this CGI'd up redo.
Yeah.
What I will say, real quick, Ben, what I will say is I really like Anne Hathaway being campy as hell. I'm into that.
Yeah.
I don't think she can replace Angelica Houston's performance in that role, though. Angelica Houston was born for that role. She was so good in it.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is, I do think it's really cool that the family that's being focused on is now black. I'm glad that that's a part of it. rather than like more white people doing those same roles again. I'm glad that that's a change. And Octavia Spencer looks like she's having a great time. Stanley Tucci's in this. That's awesome. I do like that 1991, so I don't know how to feel.
It's one of those where like everything gets remade now, but it's like this one you didn't need to though. Yeah. Like that first one's still classic. And I really do also like Anne Hathaway, and I love when she like gets to choose scenery. She's really good at it.
Did you guys see The Hustle?
No.
She's so good chewing all that scenery in that movie.
I could use some scene chewing. I might check it out.
I want to watch it.
But I hope this is good. I hope it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For me, it was weird because I just saw the 1991 film for the very first time, and I knew it was made in 91. But you're absolutely right, Sparks. Angelica Houston was amazing in that movie. I mean, seeing her as the Grand High Witch and as Morticia Addams, it's like there is no other.
Right.
I mean, Anne Hathaway with like the pure white hair. You can also, if you look really hard, you can kind of see like there's like smile lines, like scars on her mouth.
You don't need to look that hard to see them.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, okay. You don't have to look that hard, but at the same time, with Angelica Houston, it's like you did not know what was under the mask,
right?
And when you do see it, it's grotesque.
Guys,
what?
Be real with me. Is she a snake? Tell me now.
She's not a snake. She's just a witch. A grotesque witch.
She's just ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the CGI.
Hold on. I'm gonna say I do not know for sure that Anne Hathaway is not now a snake.
No.
But Angelica Houston is not a snake.
Yeah, Angelica Houston is not a snake.
Because I get why you're asking that. I see it too, but that's not what it was before.
Okay. All right.
I wasn't done.
Ben's finishing his thought.
The thing about, I hope they don't take away from the practical effects like they did in the because the 91 effects were the practicals, the prosthetic makeup when she reveals her true self was grotesque and horrifying.
Ben, I can already tell you just from this trailer that like it's not going to have that same kind of practical.
Yeah. There's a lot of CGI.
Have you seen a Robert Zemeckis film within the last 15 years?
Yeah, I have.
There hasn't been a practical effect in this movie since the 80s.
Yeah. That's kind of the sad thing is I'm like the 91 is good and it holds up. But like this can still be entertaining, I'm sure. It's just a weird place to sit.
Yeah, but I do agree. But also, I love Octavia Spencer. I think Stanley Tucci is going to be a blast, and I also do like that they're focusing on an African American family instead of a white family.
Yep.
Someone put this in. It wasn't me, but Jingle Jangles.
It was
Christmas
me.
Journey. It was you.
This looks awesome.
This looks like a really good Christmas movie.
This does look like a good Christmas musical. I can't wait to watch this holiday season.
I will be the first to tell you, I am the least festive about Christmas. I don't give a shit about Christmas. You have to be a really good Christmas movie for me to care. That's why. What was the movie we watched? Klaus. That like stop motiony looking one. Yeah. Like this. Like I didn't know it was a musical until halfway through the trailer, and then like you start to see it, and like it has so much wonder and whimsy. And like it's made by a playwright, like an actual like playwright. So like this looks like something that could be on the stage. Like it has a lot of care behind it. I was shocked with such a terrible name. It looks so good. I agree.
You should watch the Christmas Chronicles then.
You're right. I should have.
Christmas Chronicles 2 comes out this year.
It's really nice to have a Christmas movie like this to look forward to right now. Yeah. I really, truly think this looks good.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker.
Keegan-Michael Key is the bad guy?
Yeah.
I, for a second, thought when he was revealed, I thought it said in the back, it said Oz. I thought, oh my God, is he the wizard trying to take over Santa or something? Like, what a movie! No, it's not that.
Vampires versus the Bronx.
Hell yeah, baby.
Do you guys like Attack the Block?
Never seen it.
Do you guys like Lost Boys?
Haven't seen Lost Boys.
Take them together. Attack the Block and Lost Boys. Here you go.
This looks so good.
I haven't seen either of those movies.
You should watch more movies, Brandon.
I've watched a lot of movies. I just haven't gone around to it yet.
Got it. Both those movies he mentioned are great. This looks like a lot of fun.
Ryan, I had to watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
That's true. You had to. It was like forced on you. This movie looks sick. And it looks like a good time. Kids versus vampires. Yeah. Like, it's all I can ask for.
And I guess we can say we'll tell you more about it next week.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. Shazam. That's some leg. Some vampire leg.
Ooh la la. And then His House.
Whose house?
This looks so good.
Hell yeah! I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Is that Ruby from Lovecraft Country?
Yes, it is.
Sure is.
Yeah.
I saw this on Twitter, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't see anyone talk about this. What's this?"
Yeah.
This was about like in January, and then it got delayed. But then because of the pandemic, it got delayed, and now it's just like, hey, let's put it on Netflix for like a month. In like a month, I'm like, okay,
Cool. I'm pumped. This looks so good. This looks. Someone knows how to film creepy eyes in the dark.
yeah.
And, like take advantage of what you can't see. This looks great. I really, really like this.
The premise is also great because it's a thing of like, people move into a haunted house. Why don't they leave? Oh, because they're
Refugees.
from South Sudan during a genocide. So they kind of can't go back.
Yeah.
That is such a gripping story.
And they've done so much to get there and earn this little thing.
Yeah.
They'll fight for it.
Yeah, this looks like
this looks so good.
I'm gonna be really sad if this isn't good because I think this looks dope as hell.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It looked great.
Okay, that's it.
Topic time.
And we're done. Book
Sweet.
club time.
World record.
So it is my turn. It was my turn to do the book club. The FN Spook Club is what I'm calling it on Twitter.
Good.
For October.
Picture time. Pick up all the pictures I took.
Look at this.
I chose Aliens, which is currently collected in the Aliens, the original comic series 30th anniversary hardcover. Look at these pages. They're black pages. Look at this. This is nice.
It is big and nice.
This is the first ever Dark Horse graphic novel, Aliens thing that Dark Horse published. I chose the one before they changed it because Alien 3 obviously makes this completely
Irrelevant.
canon.
Mute.
So they recolored everyone's hair and changed all the names, and it's color, but the original is black and white. So this is by Mark Verheiden and Mark A. Nelson. I just wanted to showcase real quickly. I also have the two sequels, which I did not read, but it continued in Nightmare Asylum and Earth War, which are also collected in a nice hardcover.
Also, the writer of this book also wrote the Predator book because you see an ad for it at the end of this book. And I'm like, damn, he was so good. They just gave him the Predator book too, right?
Yep. And he wrote Swamp Thing, the TV series Swamp Thing.
Yeah, he helped create something. That dude knows some good stuff.
So let's just get into it. What do we think of Aliens?
Brandon, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I think this is the best book club you've ever picked.
Well, holy shit.
This is me personally. I didn't expect to get because I knew this was an older book. I didn't expect it to be as heavy and as like taken with so much sincerity and realness. And like I actually know who the characters are, and I think the art is phenomenal. And I want this. This to me is the best Alien sequel that's not Aliens. If this were like one of the Alien sequels, it's better than Alien 3, Resurrection, all the Alien vs. Predator movies, better than Prometheus. I thought this was outstanding from start to finish. That's me.
Wow.
I loved it.
On behalf of the creators of this book, thank you.
Yes.
Sparks?
I, for the most part, echo a lot of what Ryan just said. I thought this was incredibly enjoyable. I have minor issues, but they are not big. Overall, I really enjoyed it.
Ben?
Hot damn, this was a roller coaster ride of emotions. So this book I was really hoping this was going to be like a true alien sequel, because as I was reading it, I want to know what happened to Ridley, but at the same time, I was like, no, I want to see what's going on with Newt. I want to know what's happening with her. I want to know what's going on with Hicks, and just all the stuff that happened.
They have an interesting line in the book where they're just like, well, Ripley, you know what happened to her?
Yeah, but we don't know.
That's what I knew I was gonna love this book, when they were just like, yo, fuck Ripley. It's not about her. It's about you. I'm like, oh yeah.
So at first, when I started reading it, there are times where it's like, okay, who is this guy? Who is that? I love how it's in black and white, but there were times for me that I
love the art.
No, I love the art too, but there are times where I couldn't tell who exactly was who. Like, who was the dude with the thumb?
I agree. It took me a while to get who everyone was. Yeah.
I mean, luckily Hicks. I mean, you know who Hicks is because half of his face is freaking gone.
Right.
But once it got to the end of the book, like they're like, hey, we have the corporation, we have the government, then we have the bionational or whatever that corporation's called. It's like, what's the play here? What's going on? But once it got to the end and everything tied itself together, it's like reading the end of Hoxpox, where everything makes sense. But while I was reading it, even though I was a little confused at times, I still wanted to know what happens next. Is Newton Hicks gonna get revenge on the aliens? What's going on with the alien on Earth? What the frack is going on? And I got it.
So I just wanted to say, Ryan, you said that this book says F. Ripley. Ripley doesn't show up until the end of the sequel book.
Hell yeah.
Nightmare Asylum. That's the first time Ripley shows up in the series.
So
that's bold. I love it.
I want to touch off what Ben just said and just like get my biggest problem with this out of the way real quick. And I'm gonna say, it's also part of why I'm gonna give it praise. But this is not a problem because of the art not being good enough. I really want to stress that. It is a problem of the alien environment as those films have established being too similar in most of its locations.
Yeah.
That when we jump from one place to another, I don't know always that we've gone from one place to another.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
That's part of the problem. And I do not blame the artists. It is a problem that Alien would have in general. The only reason it's never come up in the films is because we don't have films that run two narratives at the same time. Mm-hmm. You're usually only following one team of people, and even if we're jumping between different characters, they're in different parts of the same location. Mm-hmm. They're not on a totally different planet or something like that. But for this one, what would happen is I'd turn a page and I'd be like, hold up, this kind of looks like the other ship, but they're talking about some different things.
Yeah.
Who is this?
No, yeah, I agree.
And that is the hardest part of reading this book. And I bet with color it would help, but I prefer the black and white art. So that's kind of where it sits. But that it was my biggest issue, is that it just took a lot of time, especially in the first few issues, for me to orient myself and be like, hold up, where are we right now?
Especially when there's
who are you? Who are you?
There's a lot of characters before they
and
get
there's a lot of men that look very similar. Yeah. And it's very hard to separate them.
Yeah.
And that's that is my biggest issue with it. But at the same time, I have to praise the book for doing that, because having dual narrative, I've never seen an alien story do it where you're running these kind of two different tracks. And it was really good. It was really nice to bounce between these two things and explore these human elements where the aliens were always secondary.
So my initial thoughts a little later is I never read this book. I've only heard good things. For a while, I had the colorized version, but I decided to wait until the black and white ever came out. And I thought this was really great. And one of the things that really stuck out to me is how much lore Mark Verheiden creates for the aliens.
Yeah.
The whole, he created their homeworld.
Yeah.
Which has still never been seen in the franchise.
The engineers, he
created the engineers.
Yeah.
Created the engineers.
And honestly, a way I find much more compelling than the story we do get, because they're still mysterious, but give me enough.
He took the design that you see, and he was like, so what if that's like the whole alien? Instead of saying, so what if that's like a mask on a human?
Yeah, what if it's actually like a little, like an 8 foot tall blue man? Like, yeah.
And the space jockey comes out so late in the story.
Yeah.
And you think he's here to help.
Yeah.
And he's just floating.
Yeah.
And there's no actual like real communication. There's some telepathy stuff, but you get that he just wants what we want, is revenge. And I'm so that's cool. That's all I need.
So this book establishes the idea that a queen egg would be created to fill a vacuum. So what we find out is that the queen has been telepathically manipulating tons and tons of people.
That is the coolest thing.
Yeah, I love. Again, this came out before all of these other movies came out, and I'm like, I wish this would have been the basis, because that idea alone of she's so strong that she can will other people to mess with them.
Telepathically convincing someone to create a religion.
This is so Dead Space. This is the plot of Dead Space. I'm not even joking.
Okay.
It's about an evil organization around religion around this artifact that turns you into a monster.
Listen to this. The vision had overwhelmed them. Where I was seeing monsters, they were seeing salvation.
Yeah.
That's such a good line. The
true Messiah is an alien.
True Messiah.
The guy who starts the cult, or who has
Salvage.
Yeah. The alien cult, when he's rushing towards the queen, is like, take me, and then the the horror sets in, but you still see his followers just running into the nest to like, take me, face hugger, I'm ready.
Yes.
I also really liked seeing. I also really like the idea that they're like it's entirely possible that the alien as we know it is not the dominant species on their homeworld.
Yeah, and we get to see other aliens too.
Yeah.
Which I did. I love it. They're like flying dragon things. Yeah.
We even see like hosts that live on that planet that they sacrifice for the queen.
Yes.
Yes.
All that mythology is so fascinating because like it still makes the aliens feel just like an unknown threat instead of like, yo, we bio made these things, and like it still feels like mysterious.
Yeah.
And like that's why I don't need the answers to everything. Sorry, Ridley Scott, but like seeing like the big engineer who looks like just like a walking elephant, and he's just got
floating elephant.
He's got this grin, and it's like that's so sick. That's so sick.
And then at the end of the last page where they're talking about how he was also there to conquer.
He was always there to conquer.
It's like, hold up.
Like they could be a potential threat in the future. Yeah.
So one of the things I really enjoy is how they're talking about the infection as it spread on Earth. The infection, they call it, like the parasites. And they're like, it didn't care about class. It waited. It would gestate longer in order to get to a different place, and like the gestation period would end at random times where the queen dictated it should end.
Yeah, and the cycles of like birth were like, it's so interesting because it's almost like it's like a force of nature. Like it shows up when it needs to show up, and like it's birthed when it needs to be birthed. I'm like, that's so messed up. It's like it will lay dormant for 1,000 years until one unfortunate soul awakens it. And I'm like, because it's got nothing else to do but wait. I'm like, that's horrifying.
I really loved all of Newt's dream sequences.
Yeah,
all of the dream sequences are exceptional. The art takes it up a notch and makes these weird pseudo creations.
And again, like all the alien books that I've read in the last couple of years, some of we've had on book clubs, like those are all good books. But to me, they're just like traditional alien books. Like this is doing something so on its own. There's trying to be like a true like sequel.
There's a really interesting one in her very first I think it's her first dream, or maybe it's her second. It's her second dream. Her first dream is super dope. Where she's got just like the alien has these eyes that are just like piercing and coming out of the night. But the second dream she has, there's this one piece. I'm gonna see if I can get it focused on because I really want you to see what I'm talking about. There's this one piece right there, which is like this xenomorph evolving, and that thing looks like the more sinister step into the what was the alien resurrection human alien hybrid thing that they were creating. That thing looks so sinister and sick. I love it. So that dream art is dope. I want to talk about the dude they're running like their entire like experiment is based on, where he's having the fever dreams as they're watching him.
Oh yeah,
he was the survivor. He was one of the survivors from the ship that exploded, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he's on the table and he has this whole thing where he shoots them and he escapes, and all he can think about is getting to his wife. And you get the ramblings of like what a man who knows
I turned right to it.
That he's about to have the chest burster come out and what he wants to do and where he's going. And he's like, they're trying to stop me. They won't. They can't. All this stuff. And he gets there and he does all this, and he's still on the table. And
look at this. Look at the guy in the helicopter. His wife turns into a xenomorph.
Yeah. And
awesome.
And this guy, his chest is starting to burst up, but it's doing it very slowly, and they're getting frustrated, and they're like, it's almost like he's fighting it. So the doctor comes in and he's like, you're ruining the experiment. How dare you? And he's like, you want it? You can have it. And he pulls him down and has it burst into him. That's so good.
Yeah. There's one ounce of like the telepathy that the queen's doing on this person, and it says her teeth glitter like the stars. God, she's impossibly beautiful.
Yeah,
she loves me more than you ever could. And I'm like, and then it's literally just a xenomorph staring at you as this is being said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so good and so scary.
And so twisted. Just like art pages like this one when Stevens pushes the guy out into space. It is so incredible.
And we haven't talked too much about the plot, but basically, is it Bio National?
Bio National.
They want to go to the alien homeworld because they're all about money, all about profits. We want the alien for money, and Weyland-Yutani bullshit as always. So they get Hicks, who is now super cynical and his face is all burned, and he gets Newt, who's now a grown woman because this is like a decade later or whatever.
Well, she's still a minor. They make a point to say that she's still a minor.
Okay.
I think like she's 17 probably.
Because they're criticizing him for like thinking Hicks is into her because she's too young.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, they're like it's basically the plot of. It's basically the plot of Aliens again in a way, but just way worse. And Ripley's not there.
The whole concept of like the xenomorphs, the queens having this telepathy power is so cool.
Yeah.
What an idea to take a thing and like give it a way of communicating, but like not ruining the presence of the xenomorph is so genius.
Yeah.
There's even a bit where all these xenomorphs are hanging around a queen egg, and when the queen hatches, and it's just the embryo stage of the queen, they just pick it up and walk over and make a new nest. And I thought it was just really funny how it just was xenomorph walking with this larva form. Just
the way some of them present themselves, like some of the scientists are like, "I'm not like him. I love you. I would never let you get hurt."
Like Ben, you were talking about how like everything collides at the end, like the finale of like the Earth being overrun, and it's like it's the apocalypse, and I'm like, this feels like horrible, like this feels bad, like
it's the end of the Earth, and the military's like, yeah, we kind of wanted it.
Yeah, it's
we needed a clean slate, so
like all the rich people
stage a coup.
They stage a coup.
Peace out.
Yeah, it's like very political.
And Hicks and Newt make this whole journey to like try to save Earth, and they're like, nah, man, like why?
Yeah.
What is there to save? Like, let it go. And it is like there's a really solid message that is well built and iterated, but like well built throughout. That's like, yeah, mankind did it to themselves.
Yeah,
every step of the way they did it to themselves.
It was very much a Walking Dead situation, or like the aliens weren't the things that killed us; we killed us. They just helped us do it.
I love the idea of the xenomorphs being able to take advantage of humans. Because it's such a big plot of all of the Alien films to some extent that they believe they can weaponize the xenomorphs. And the xenomorphs being like, nah, man, we just let you think that. In fact, we encourage you to think that because you're so stupid.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this story, in part, ended up in Alien Resurrection, honestly.
Pieces.
There's certain... I don't think as good, and like thematically, it's all over the place. But I do think that Whedon probably read this book and tried to bring some of it into the movie.
Yeah,
that's entirely possible. I really love the whole story of Newt when Massey takes over on the ship, and her being like, "I have to be like the alien. I have to be like the thing that killed my parents. I have to be cold. I have to." She uses their tactics, travels through the vents, hides, watches, waits, and then realizes in that same moment, I can't be like the alien, but still ends up getting to kill Massey.
Yeah, and then Massey's like, "You don't have the guts. You don't have it in you to kill me." And then she's like, "You want to bet?"
Her whole relationship with Butler.
Oh my God, that's a reveal. That's a great reveal.
That's a great reveal.
Oh
it's
my God.
revealed that all of the Marines were synthetics.
Yes. That is nuts. I love it. I wasn't sure at first because of the black and white. When you see him literally get torn in half, but it's like white goo, and I'm like, I wonder.
It's white goo and like the balls, the little balls on cords.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure at first, but then like the second panel you see, and he's like still talking. I'm like, oh, yo, that's Ash. That's cool.
Jesus, look at that.
I love his pensive, like, look at the grin. I love the grin.
Yeah, that
I don't think I can go back to Prometheus after this, guys.
I don't think so either.
This is like, I don't want my engineers to be stupid suits. This is so much cooler.
Yeah, this is really, really good.
This legitimately, like, if the sequels are half
seeing that ship that we saw down, but like because the engineer has his own, that ship traveling with Hicks' ship to Earth, was such a cool piece. Just like there we go.
All the art's gorgeous, but like even like the spaceships are so detailed. Like this is a stunning book.
The other thing is like this is the only Alien film outside of Prometheus with its brief moment at the beginning that actually lets us do things on Earth and see what Earth is actually kind of like, and expands the universe that the xenomorphs exist in.
Yeah.
I'm not counting AVP.
Yeah.
And I think that is so cool. And I wish that more Alien films were trying to capture these kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
All of these ideas are so good.
Yeah.
I will say real quickly, the artist does not return for the sequel books. The first sequel, Nightmare Asylum, was done by Den Boves, and Earth War was done by Sam Keith.
I'm sure they're good.
But this is art.
This is like, honestly, this reminded me of 80s Swamp Thing art. Well, I'm like, man, like I can't believe.
Did your guys' edition have any of the art pages in the back?
No.
No.
The cover page. So they put some of the covers in the back, and stuff like let me see if I can pull this up like that.
Oh wow, that's a big ass. That's a whole ass page. That's amazing. Yeah, the detail in the work it's phenomenal, man.
Yeah, every time I look at this picture, I see something new. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I also have a question about the edition that you read. Did you read the short story Aliens Lucky?
I already tell. No, that's a negative.
Okay. So real quickly, in my edition of this book, it comes with the other thing that Mark Verheyen and Mark A. Nelson did when in Aliens, called Aliens Lucky, and it's about this dude who seals himself away in the communications room of his ship while the aliens are breaking through, and just watching all of his friends die and thinking like, well, sucks to be them.
Is it like more comedic, or
it's definitely supposed to be more of a comedy.
Got it. Cool. I legitimately I'm like, I don't have the money now, but like that thing you have, Brandon, is like one I might consider getting. Like
I love this thing. Even before I read it, I loved it.
Yeah, I in a time where I haven't gotten many good alien things in the past couple of years, this is just a treasure.
Yeah, they did the same thing for the Predator books. Orange with orange pages.
Yeah. If that Predator book's half as good as this book, like I can't even imagine what the lore that book brings. Right
now that I know that he also did the Predator book, I'm like, maybe I want to read that Predator book.
Hell yeah, it's moving up on the list.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you guys wanted to add?
No, I just, man, if you guys are listening to this and you like, if you have one alien book to read the rest of your life, like I think this is it. This is truly like something else, man.
For sure.
I also really like Dead Orbit, which was James Stokoe book.
Yeah,
100%,
man. But like, man, it's I can't compare them or anything.
I wish we didn't get the movies after this.
For real, because like I just like this lore so much.
To be honest, like I agree. I still like Alien 3, but I agree.
But that doesn't really do a lot for like the mythology. Like
no, it doesn't. I still like Alien 3, but I get it. Like
I
think this is dope. I wish that more of this was what
I'm more talking about, like Prometheus and like the actual birth of aliens is just an angry robot made them. Like that kind of takes away a little bit of the fun.
Okay, Sparks, it's your turn next.
Yeah. I am doing. Excuse me. I'm doing Victor Lavelle's Destroyer.
Okay.
Illustrated by Dietrich Smith with Joanna LaFuente. This is a direct sequel to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein novel. So I think you guys are really, really going to dig it. I'm super psyched to read it. I just know the concept. It's all about that the monster, if you don't know, if you haven't read Frankenstein's novel or you're not familiar with how it actually ends, what happens is that Dr. Frankenstein and the monster are in the snow in the Arctic at the end, and Dr. Frankenstein is dying. And the monster says, "You're dying. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go into the snow, and I'm going to die too." The monster doesn't die. The monster actually just keeps living in the Arctic.
Can I tell you
Frankenstein?
Modern day.
Can I tell you the synopsis that I just found?
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
When the last descendant of the Frankenstein family loses her only son to a police shooting.
This is a black woman, by the way.
She turns to science for her own justice, putting her crash course with her family's original monster story. So, bro,
So this image you see on the cover, this is her son. She's going to use the same science to want to bring back her shot son.
That is so nuts.
There's going to be a lot of good stuff here, guys.
So not I Frankenstein. Got it.
Sorry, no Aaron Eckhart with the abs. None of that.
This is going to be a fun one, I think. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited too.
The Fake Nerd Spook Club continues. So next week we're going to talk about Vampires versus the Bronx.
Yes.
The new Netflix movie. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully coming at the end of the month, we'll see. A comprehensive look at all 6 Alien movies.
Hell yeah.
I'm rethinking that right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Let's just do the sequel books to this instead and pretend that's the canon. God.
I could go up to Alien 3 maybe. after reading
I
that,
need you to do it. All of them.
all 6.
Yes.
I've only seen Prometheus and what's
Covenant.
the other one?
Covenant.
Only seen them both once. So like maybe my mind will change, but I was an adult when I saw those. So
I'm gonna call it right now. I think Ryan, you might appreciate Alien Covenant a little more.
Okay.
And I think you'll hate Prometheus more.
probably.
I love Alien.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all of Aliens, and I've only seen the very beginning of Alien 3, what I call bullshit.
Okay, now we have. Wait, hold on. Now we have to do this episode because he hasn't seen all of Aliens.
Yeah.
I guess we do. He said that, and
That's
I
a
feel
crime.
like we're obligated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That is a crime.
I
How
don't
did you
mind.
seen some of it and you said nah? Hold on. Shorts too, Mag? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, we're
Alien
just doing
shorts?
movies.
No, just the movies. No AVPs either. Just
No,
the apes.
We did AVP for the Predator franchise.
Okay, so we got Alien, Alien
kind of.
3,
What?
Resurrection, Prometheus, and Covenant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those
You
are
got
the movies you watch.
And you can watch them in that order, or you can watch them in chronological order and be angry.
Oh, that would make me so
No.
mad.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm watching Alien, Aliens, Alien 3. I'm doing the order. I'm not doing it in chronological. Fuck that.
We called them a machete cut.
Jesus. All right. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to like this video. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you listen to, we got some other shows for you. We got our Fake Nerds Watch series for Lovecraft Country going on right now. We're going to have a new episode coming
This week for sure.
this week.
For sure.
The Boys is also coming, and The Mandalorian is coming. So
I'm all caught up on the boys.
The Boys is it 8 episodes?
Yeah.
yes.
So after those 8 episodes, we're gonna have a beautiful season recap talk about for you. What do you think?
Basement Arcade is. We bought a ramp for Basement Arcade. You don't get that reference unless you watch the book club episode.
Ramping up to some spooks.
And of course, we have the Fake Nerd Book Club series, which we are doing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Volume 4 and Volume 5. That is up soon. We also have our Crafted by Z masks, our Fake Nerd Podcast masks over on Crafted by Z. The links are in the description below. Pandemic's still going. No Time to Die bailed out of this year. Put on your mask. Make it a Fake Nerd Podcast mask.
No time to die. Wear a mask.
Patreon. We have a Patreon, guys. You know, when Bread gets married, we're gonna get Stephen King. Patreon goal:
$10,000.
Bread and Fanny. Anybody hearing that I'm saying bread?
Oh, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing
Also a joke. Also a joke you won't get unless you watch our Picture Book Club episode. We also have a TeePublic where we have a bunch of shirts. Maybe soon a shirt that was Stephen King. I got married by Stephen King shirt.
Brandon, cut down on the shirts.
Probably not.
Maybe
I'm just
make
throwing
it
that out there.
now. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but don't make that one until it actually happens.
I'm not going to make it ever.
All right.
And of course, we have a website where you can find all of these links and everything and blogs and things like that. www.fakenerdpodcast.com. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches. We greatly appreciate all of your support. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci. If you listen to the musics of this episode, he did it all. You can find him at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards, or you can find his podcast, Suburban Proctologist Official, which is on iTunes and on Facebook at Suburban Proctologist Official, or on Instagram at Subproc Podcast. Thank you to Mike Matola. Mike Matola is great.
Mag.
Later, Mag.
Mag.
Later, Mag.
Thank you to Mike Matola. Mike is great guy. Hopefully more collabs with him soon. You can find him at Mike Matola. He did our logos for Fake Nerd Book Club, Fake Nerd Podcast, and Miscellaneous.
This one.
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben?
You can find me on
Sparks?
Twitter.
Sorry, Ben. Ben?
You can find me on the internet at bedmagnet27 on Instagram and Twitter. And also I write for oldschoolgamermagazine.com. Newest article just went up today. Link is in the description below.
Sparks.
You can find me watching Dracula and Blackula this week at SparksWitty on Instagram and Twitter, SparkzWitty.
Ryan.
DJ Tony Snark everywhere.
Okay.
All
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Like this channel. Like this video. Subscribe to this channel. Until next week, guys. Stay faked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yo, Brian Atkins sus. We gotta vote him out.
Ben picked up the term sus really fast.